Hello and welcome to Critically Drinking, where we strive to set a higher bar for conversation every single stream. Thank you for joining us. Now grab your drink, take your seat, and let us get ready for the show. Rashawn will be with you shortly to let you know what's on tap for the day.
Man, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to Critically Drinking. I'm your host, Rashawn. As you see, we got our resident bartender and DJ Yellow Pill in the building. And I know I'm also like a minute too late, you know what I'm saying? But you got to blame it on the juice, man. Blame it on the juice. Yeah. What's up, Kawaii Bree? We got Innate in the building. Innate. And my guy, Zuri. What's up, fellas? Hey, what's up, y'all? Hope everybody's day is going well. I had something different planned today that had to get moved. So I'm here just because my schedule was free. Tuesday of next week. Today's stream will be moving to Tuesday of next week with Bravo with Sheila. 3 p.m. Eastern, and then Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, I'll be having part 1 of that conversation with Dr. Nakumbe. So Monday, Tuesday is going to be a part 1, part 2. It's going to be like gender affinity wars, and then Endgame. That's my little thing. So you got the thumbnails with Thanos and Gamora. We got Godless Song in the building. But we're going to be talking about the gender wars next week with a couple of counselors, Dr. Nakumbe and Sheila Ingram. So that should be an interesting conversation. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys can come through too. And again, Monday and Tuesday at 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. respectively, Eastern Time. That will be Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now, for today, because I saw this video, Real Talk with Yanni had compiled a bunch of stuff about Lizzo. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to play some of the stuff and we're going to talk about it because there were some dynamics within that I thought was interesting. And I noticed the people that I heard talking about it weren't bringing this stuff up. Everybody's into she's a hypocrite. And I'm like, maybe not. But there's also a lot of other dynamics that people are not mentioning at all. I'm not sure if it's because of who she is. I'm not sure if it's because if she's a woman that they're not noticing this stuff. But there's a lot of stuff in here that I thought was interesting. Some religious stuff was in here. People didn't talk about is. So we're going to talk about it, y'all. So we're going to definitely talk about it. But first. Yeah, because Bree, you said something a long time ago that kind of stuck with me, and it plays a part in today's conversation. I'm gonna bring it up when it comes to it. That's the banana in the tailpipe. The banana on the thumbnail is specifically because of that thing you talked about. Because boy, repression is a heck of a drug, man. But how you feeling today? Y'all, everything good? I know you just came from over there. I don't even know where that came from. I know you were over there playing MLB.
Yeah. Progression, man. I'm doing pretty good.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? Coming to a lot of conclusions and understandings myself lately. And dude, I see oh my God, I see the picture that he about to bring up, y'all.
It's not a bad one. It's not.
Oh man, that ain't a good one.
It may not be a good one, but yeah, I mean, you was over there doing your baseball thing, but you played something that actually may come up. I don't know if I'm gonna play the whole thing. I have that 2-minute clip that I sent you in Discord. At the end of this, because another thing that comes up in this are boundaries when you are powerless. Because we talked about boundaries, but we also talked about boundaries as something that's for you, because you can't enforce them on other people. And in relationships where you don't have the power, like an employer, like your boss, the person that signs your checks, that comes up in this conversation as well. So there are several different themes, topics, and have you understood that you a noob in MLB?
Ooh, have you understand that I don't give a damn?
He really doesn't. So if you have not heard what's going on with Lizzo, she is getting sued. But I'm gonna let Yanni tell y'all about this while we DJ body shame. And we're gonna talk about body positivity too, because that's a whole thing too. They're claiming that she's a hypocrite because of that, but I'm not so sure that that's what's going on. But that's gonna be me postulating.
It's Yanni and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the lawsuit that was filed by former dancers of Lizzo. They are accusing her of sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. It states here Lizzo has been sued by 3 former dancers who accused the Grammy winner of sexual harassment and alleged the singer and her production company created a hostile work environment. The civil lawsuit filed Tuesday in Los Angeles County Superior Court claims Lizzo pressured the dancers to engage with nude performers at a club in Amsterdam and shamed one of them for her weight gain before firing her. Plaintiffs Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams, and Noel Rodriguez make numerous charges including sexual, religious, and racial harassment, disability discrimination, assault, and false imprisonment.
So I just read through all 37 pages
Assault
of the
and false imprisonment. So I mean, they threw a lot of charges there, but I promise you, when I listened to this, when I listened to the actual claims, I was like, and forgive me for the misogynoir black women. I've worked with some of y'all, and a lot of this stuff felt very familiar. Like a lot of this stuff was like, this is just working with a certain demographic of black people. When they're comfortable with you, when they get comfortable with you, you gonna catch some jokes. But none of it was really. A lot of it is not meant to harm. Is a lot of us are socialized to be a little mean sometimes, a little mean spirited. A little of that mean girl comes into it. The black woman space. Oop, Reckless Ray De Niro popping through, man. Appreciate you coming through. What's up, my guy? What is good? What is good, man? Everything's chilling, man. We'll talk about this little Lizzo lawsuit a little bit because I just thought there were some dynamics that came up in there that I thought was weird. Yeah, I had the privilege of seeing her dance competition show. The signs with it. And I'm going to tell you, having worked with a lot of, because I worked at this housing authority, and it was almost exclusively black women. And the hijinks that ensued at work, I'm going to tell you, it was wild. Again, I'll never forget the one time. I just remember this one time, this dude named Terrence and this girl named Tamika. I'm coming down this hallway. And again, this is at work in the middle of the day. I'm coming down this hallway that has like a perpendicular hallway. You like that word, perpendicular. So it's like a T shape. It's like a T shape. So I'm coming up the T, and then across the T in that narrow window of the T that I can see coming up from the bottom, I saw Terrence carrying Tamika on his hip. Like as he goes past the window carrying Tamika, and she's bouncing up on him. They're fully dressed and everything. But I'm like, why are y'all doing this at the office? So I mean, there's something about working with people from like 25 to 35, hood adjacent. You're going to see some stuff. You're going to see some stuff, and they're going to do some stuff. Complete lack of professionalism. Absolutely. What's up, Von Bryant in the building? And again, that's not even necessarily the worst thing I've seen. It just always caught me off guard because I'm like, there's clients that come through here, like we interview people and got kids around, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? What's up, Rico? Black folks have very crassy. Yeah, man, the stuff they talked about. Matter of fact, she's deceased now. Lady I used to work with, man, she was so cool. Shira, oh my, she was so cool. But there was there's a stigma about Somali people. In Columbus, we have like one of the highest populations of Somalis, and they didn't all the time smell the way that we like for them to smell.
Oh Lord.
She actually Lysoled them. She stopped the interview and Lysoled them. Like, there's a lack of professionalism. And that's almost to the level of an assault. But I just saw this stuff so frequently. So you may hear me say some things that sound like normalizing some really wrong behavior. What I'm trying to say is that in certain areas it is normal. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying there's a lot of behaviors that have become tolerated. I'll say a lot of thought processes that are tolerated, a lot of language that's tolerated in certain spaces. Again, not saying it's right, not even saying it's lawful, especially when you talk about labor law and I would say employer-employee dynamics. A lot of this stuff is off. But I wanted to say, man, I've seen some stuff in the workplace. So I've seen some of the stuff that's going to come up in these claims that she's being sued for, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you can't get too familiar, especially with your employees. But this lady here, that's on the screen, she's getting ready to she's going to start going a little bit more into detail on some of these claims. But Yella, did you when you heard the claims from Yanni, what did you think, man? 'Cause that was a lot.
I mean,
Yeah.
I believe every one of them.
Yeah.
I believe every one of them. Yeah, I believe all women.
Here you go.
How far did we get? 10 minutes? We got 10 minutes. Y'all got 10 minutes of a proper show, and we're finna get into the petty shit. I was just thinking about the Lysol situation, though. I understand because some funk lock onto the air molecules in the room, and they leave, and it just still be there. So I understand. I understand. I probably wouldn't Lysol them because that's a chemical, but good for breeze shot. I ain't never heard nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we didn't have Febreze at the time. This was like early 2000s. We wasn't Febrezing. That's it.
Shit. So damn, that early 2000. All right, never mind. That's a lawsuit because you spray some early 2000s chemicals on somebody. They probably got mesothelioma or something right now.
Now, to be fair, she was Somali, so she was fully garbed up. There wasn't a lot of skin exposure. So, what's up at night? We got Inya Naya in the building. What's up? Hello. Let's see what this lady say.
Lawsuit against Lizzo, her production company, and the captain of her dance squad. And wow, there is a lot in here. I want to try to just give you the highlights and also not get banned because some of this stuff is pretty wild. There are 9 different complaints in this lawsuit. Some of the complaints are all of the plaintiffs against all of the defendants being Lizzo, her production company, and her dance captain, Shirlene Quigley.
But see, Rico, that's the point. That's the power dynamic. That's when I talked about power dynamics, that's the thing. The Somali lady was there looking for help. So would you get too feisty for the person that you're looking for help from if you need a place to stay? Mm-hmm. So that goes into like what we're going to talk about with Lizzo, when biting the hand that feeds you. People will take a lot of liberties when they know that they have the upper hand. So that was one of the things I was like, I told Shira, like, yo, that ain't cool. You lucky it wasn't me. Because if you had ever did that to me, woman or not, we'd have had all kinds of problems. But if somebody's coming looking for housing and you take a liberty and you stink and start spraying them, spraying their clothing, they might suck it up. Especially if you're also foreign as well. You don't really speak the language well. So, I mean, desperation will make you tolerate a lot of stuff. So, power dynamics are a real thing, so you got to consider that. And that's what's coming up now that she's getting sued because she exploited some of those power dynamics.
And some of the complaints are just 1 or 2 of the plaintiffs against maybe 1 or 2 of the defendants. The first complaint is hostile work environment. The second complaint is failure to prevent and or remedy hostile work environment. Third is religious harassment. Fourth is failure to prevent and or remedy religious harassment. Fifth is racial harassment. Sixth is disability discrimination. Seventh is intentional interference with prospective economic. 8 is assault. And 9 is false imprisonment. So 2 of the dancers we met on Lizzo's show, Watch Out for the Big Girls, and
So now where the issues between immigrants versus native blacks is. I'm not sure what that means. What is blacks? Oh, native blacks? Now we hear the issue between immigrants versus native blacks. That's something too. I mean, that's a thing, man. There's a lot of contention between immigrants and native blacks for sure.
Third dancer was hired a little bit later. And we also met the dance captain, Shirlene Quigley, who is named as a defendant in this suit. So a lot of major claims in this lawsuit center around the dance captain, Shirlene Quigley. And it seems, according to this lawsuit, like she was just this uber religious woman.
Hello.
And
Hello.
Shirlene.
That's the part of this story that got me. I forgot every time I hear this. Y'all not finna tell me it's a lady named Shirlene, and she's a big girl involved in this case. You're not finna tell me Big Shirley got a claim in this case.
Yeah. She was a dance
Shout out
captain.
to
No, she's getting sued. Big Shirley's getting sued. She's getting sued.
Big Shirley. Right, that's what I'm saying. Big Shirley got it
Yeah.
right. She got a case too. Big Shirley catching the case too. I couldn't
Yes,
help it,
sir.
man. I was like, Kevin Samuels would love this right now.
Hostile work environment will get tossed. It's too vague. The other grounds are more refined. It can be proven. All jobs can be hostile. I don't want to work. Facts. Yeah, the housing authority people doing them dirty. Yeah, those are the first black people they interact with when they come here. Facts. It was bad, and I promise you, one of the guys that I interviewed, he showed me pictures when he was over in Somalia. He was like a high-ranking official. He was in all this like this very ornate garb and everything, but then he's coming and applying for housing and like looking for a low-income house, and I'm like, dang. I couldn't imagine going from being a high-ranking official that had to run because there was a civil war. Like it was crazy. It was crazy. But when he showed me the pictures, man, it kind of resonated because you think like, okay, yeah, you just coming over here and everybody was a prince in Africa, but this dude was dripped out like coming to America. Like, and I'm like, Jesus, I couldn't imagine leaving all that. Couldn't imagine. Here's Tri Media Group. Hello, hello. Peace to you. Peace to the family. Mandrell, hello, hello. Good to see you, my guy. Is Somalia is the Alabama of Africa. They'll be like,
Damn. Damn.
dang, dang. In addition, they come from a society country where corruption and abuse is the norm. I mean, you know, the same could be said of here. But
I swear that you just described Chicago. Shit.
yeah, too.
Shit.
But I want to talk about Charlene real quick, man, because man, I don't even know if I let that get far enough. Did they talk about the religious stuff? I don't think she did. Let me let them talk about Charlene for a minute. Because Charlene, the dance captain, woo,
Oh shit.
she a wild one. She a wild one.
She was constantly trying to like talk about the Lord and trying to convert people, and people were uncomfortable with it. And she was preaching about how premarital sex was bad. And then when
Don't
she
say
found
nothing,
out one of the
don't say
dancers
nothing.
in this lawsuit,
Premarital sex is bad, yellow.
Man, I'm about to flip this motherfucking TV over right now. Rage.
Ariana Davis was a virgin, she became like obsessed with this and would just like bring it up and talk about it all the time, which obviously made her really uncomfortable. But then it's like really strange.
And see, like Kevin Samuels, they found a virgin and they thought it was really noteworthy. Brought it up all the time. There was a chaste woman there. You know what I'm saying? Just bringing up her chastity. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so Chicago is the Nigeria of America.
Shit.
Chicago. Oh, they got the Nigerian princess. Yellow's a Nigerian prince.
Shit, yep. I'm finna start running that scam. Goddamn, next week.
That's wild.
Because then even though she's like uber religious and preaching all these things, she would also like talk about weird sexual things in front of them. And they said that she had this like what was called a party trick where she would use a banana to simulate, you know what I'm saying, with her mouth. And it was like a thing she did. They say in this law.
Yeah, Big Shirley got the party tricks, man. Big Shirley deep throating bananas, y'all. Now listen.
Hey.
I ain't mad at her, but here's the thing. And this is something Bree talked about a long time ago. Easy on us Nigerians. Uh-oh. Now listen. Here's the thing with some people that are uber religious. A lot of times there's a whole lot of repressed sexuality there. Catholic priests, youth pastors. Like there's a lot of repressed sexuality, and that stuff comes out in weird ways. So if y'all one of them people, this is Lizzo's dance captain, Shirley, Big Shirley, as Yellow's affectionately calling her.
I mean,
Big Shirley. It's the dance captain who's being sued as well. This is the dance captain. So again, it's a person of authority who is hyper religious, proselytizing all the time, shaming people for premarital sex, but always simulating sex acts to the point that she has a party trick with a banana.
Lawsuit that it didn't stop there with Quigley, and that like in addition to like doing this like faux simulation with the banana, she would talk about how like pleasing yourself is against her religion, but
Oh, my bad, brain fog. Now it's all good. It's all good. You're gonna have more brain fog after you finish hearing about these people.
She'd be like,
This
but
shit
oops,
is
today I had an oopsie,
Today I had an
which is just
oopsie.
like strange. And they said like that, you know, she would talk about these sort of like sexually explicit comments so much that the entire dance team knew that her fantasy was having, let me see how I can put this, 10 eggplants in her face. They all knew this apparently.
So the hyper religious person is always talking about sex to the point that everybody knows what her fantasy is. And when she masturbates, because she's telling everybody she had an oopsie. You can't even talk about masturbation openly because you got to say an oopsie. Who had the bow bow?
Yeah, the
That's
chick
what I
with the
was
bow
ashamed
bow. Yeah,
Sunday.
yeah,
Yeah, man, I
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
It be them people that can't say words that are basic words, but they be harboring some stuff, y'all. They be too innocent to say certain words, but then they be harboring some mess. The bow bow lady on Shame Sunday, she's like she couldn't say she had a bowel movement or a poop or a deuce, a dookie, none of that weird, nothing normal people would say. She had to say bow bow, but then she took a toothbrush and put it in her butt and let the guy brush his teeth with it. Like you can do
Right.
some foul stuff, but you can't say bowel movement, a number two, a deuce, a poop, a dookie. You can't say none of that. A crap.
I do.
Now, now this person said, well, I had an oopsie, but you're shaming people for having premarital sex. But you're up here simulating sex, like oral sex on a banana. Like these people are weird, man. She wants a team. She wanted 10 eggplants in her
I
face.
mean, I ain't judging.
Can't be grown enough to talk about the actual ish they do. It's crazy, man. It is crazy. But there'll be some of the most foul people. It'll be some of the most foul people, but they're covering it up. They're trying to hide it under innocence, but you're not innocent. And you're probably a creep. She sounds like a little bit of a creep.
Man,
Another of the allegations in the suit is that after performances, Lizzo would invite the dancers out for a night on the town. And then one night in Amsterdam, she had this whole event like in the red light district at this like club where there was like nude cabaret performers. And Ariana Davis says that like, you know, she really didn't want to participate, but like she was being egged on and basically forced to, you know, touch the breast of one of the
Touch.
performer, even though she didn't want to.
Bum, bum. Touch. Bum, bum, bum. Now listen, you are a full-grown adult. They're not holding a gun in your head. But this is where the power dynamics come in. A lot of these people will feel pressure because they're partying with their boss. You're never supposed to party with your boss. That's just a bad idea. Don't party with your boss. But a lot of people will feel pressured. You can't say no to your boss. Your job might be on the line. Especially if you're not like when you don't have detailed contract. You might just be on there like on a handshake or something. A lot of people aren't professional. Oop.
like I
Oops,
got the
there
wrong
goes my shirt above my head. Oh my. Okay, brother Von Bryant with the tweet.
I feel,
Wasn't that tweet?
man, where is the jobs where the boss? I would like to be forced to grab a titty every now and then.
I
Get
mean,
on,
you need
girl.
to hang out with Lizzo, man.
I
You need to be a
mean,
backup
look,
dancer for Lizzo.
I need to be. I'm shit. You know, I think I make the. You know what I'm saying? The requirements.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Nah, man. Shirley is yellow tight.
I mean,
I
she
don't know.
not.
I don't know.
And man, shout out to the ankle length skirt crew. God damn it, because you was talking about them freaky dickies. God damn it, shit. Then shout out to the ankle length jean skirt crew.
Yep.
You
What's
know
up?
what I'm saying? They was some real ones right there, man. Hey,
Man, you bugging. You bugging.
what?
Ankle
They
length
like,
skirts? Nah.
yeah, man. Look, if you know, you know.
So what the dancers allege in the suit is that like even though they didn't want to go to these places and they felt uncomfortable,
Okay.
they felt they had to for job security because they said it was just sort of this like unspoken, you know, thing that dancers who participated in these extracurriculars got preferential treatment by Lizzo and had more job security.
Now listen, we gotta, and this is where I get the whole power dynamic thing, but there's also accountability. You wanted the same type of preferential treatment. You were trying to advance in your career. You playing politics. You're doing things that you don't want to do so you can get the favor of the boss. We got to be able to admit that. Like suing them for the choices that you make to try to get their favor, that's kind of foul. But I know there's a lot more to this. There's a lot of power dynamics, and that's one of the things I really wish adults could differentiate. the difference between my poor choices and being coerced into something. Because there's a lot of bleed over. Melissa was trying to buy France. Who Melissa? Oh, Lizzie? Is that her name, Melissa? Her name is Melissa? I never knew her real name. Oh my God.
I thought it was Elizabeth or some shit.
Oh my God, Melissa. Okay, all right.
Now, where the racial discrimination comes in, the dancers say that the management team was mostly white people, and that the production team treated the black members of the dance team differently than other members, and that allegedly they accused the black members of the dance team of being lazy, unprofessional, and having bad attitudes.
Now, I don't care what nobody say. If you got right in the United States of America, if you have employees that are black, the tendency that they might be lazy and have a bad attitude is going to tick up a little higher than the other people that I've worked with. Other people, and it doesn't matter what job, no matter what level of it, no matter what like industry it was, man, I promise you, black people will act a little black. It just is what it is. I don't care what nobody say. But I will also say black people can also be some of the hardest workers and some of the most diligent, some of the most loyal and faithful. So I'm not saying like, oh, but all black people are lazy. I'm just, I'm not saying that black people are lazy monkeys. But I'm just saying, as far as what is it? Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson put it like this: Africa, if that's the oldest place on Earth, Africa produced the largest biodiversity. So they had the tallest and the shortest people, the skinniest and the biggest people, the lightest and the darkest people, because they had the longest range to adapt and evolve in Africa. People from Africa have the largest, I would say, what would you call that? The widest array of variety.
I was wondering what you were going to say.
Yeah, we have the widest variety of like traits. We probably have some of the
largest
most,
and the widest.
Here you go.
Largest and the widest. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. All right, go on. Okay.
The largest and the widest. See, man, y'all are gonna get the first one of these.
And now flute and twerk. We should flute and twerk together. Okay.
There you go. Just for you. Just for you. A little. But what I was going to say was, because of that variety, we have some of the laziest people, but we also have some of the most highly tuned, highly efficient, on time, a little early. We got some of those too. So, but in the United States of America, boy, we be having people that are so late, so unprofessional. Should have left that in the drafts. Nope. Everybody got to see it. We all got to twerk. America has taught us to focus on the effect, not the cause, and it has been adopted in many aspects of society. In my opinion, I'm just saying, not all. It depends. It's all it's all relative. There's a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, the people I've worked with, some of the most unprofessional mofos in my life. I remember the one guy, he had just started, and it was like day 2. He was talking about going off on unenjoyment. I'm like, unenjoyment? He was like, yeah, I'm trying to fall or something so I can get unemployment. I'm like, dude, you just got here. Like, yeah. you ain't even worked here long enough to be like hate the job. It was ridiculous. I'm like, you're doing nothing in training for the first week and you're talking about going off on unenjoyment. But again, anecdotal. I know my experiences are slim, as far as the population. But again, I believe black people have the full range of behaviors, but man, sometimes in professional settings, that'd be a lot to be desired. But let's see what this lady talking about.
So then, according to this lawsuit, they get back from the European part of this tour, and Lizzo's just like unhappy with all the dancers and says like, everyone has to re-audition and your jobs aren't safe, and if I don't like the way you audition, you're going to be fired. And that this audition allegedly turned into this 12-hour day where the dancers just felt like scared to even leave the stage or they were going to get fired. So the one dancer, Davis, said like she really had to use the bathroom but was too scared, so ended up urinating on herself.
And see, this is what I'm talking about, man.
Oh, Lord.
You're so scared to leave the stage that you wet yourself. Like, you're not scared to wet yourself? I don't know. Like, some of this stuff I really got to put on the people.
Yeah.
Like, I can't put all this on Lizzo. Like, I don't, unless somebody's holding a gun to me, I'm not wetting myself. It don't make sense. But, you know, we get to blame Lizzo. She said the dancers were drinking on the job, and that's why they were supposed to re-audition. And I believe it, because everybody got real cozy. I'm sure everybody, because if Lizzo's taking these people out to party, if Lizzo is taking these people out to party, they've gotten really comfortable and familiar. They probably have that, it's a family. We're like a family. We're girls, let's hang out. No, touch a titty, touch a titty. If we're doing all that, they're being real cozy and familiar. So people that are real cozy and familiar tend to not take their jobs as seriously. That's a general tendency amongst people. The power dynamics be wild in real time. I mean, that's true. That's true. Most people aren't bold in real life. Man, but to wet yourself, you ain't got to be bold not to wet yourself.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Yeah, that's something else.
Nobody's expected not to go to the bathroom. If you're trying to tell me for 12 hours, no other dancer went to the bathroom, but this person didn't get to see somebody else break the seal to walk out, I have a hard time believing that. You didn't see anybody else go to the bathroom over 12 hours so that you had to sit there and wet yourself? Who the fuck wants a job that badly? They have to take some responsibility. Yeah, I agree with you. It's giving Weinstein. My question is, if someone putting a gun to these people's heads to do these acts, or do they have a choice to do them or not? These are all full-blown adults, but here's the coercion part. Like, you're overseas for a job. So a lot of people feel pressured. And I get the pressure. I get the pressure to perform. We've all had jobs and we didn't want to do stuff, but we was like, I need this money. We've all been there. We've all had bills to pay, a family to feed, all kinds of stuff. So I get pressure, but there's got to be a point where you have some level of a self, I guess, to self. You got to have a self to self about. Because like, I got to go to the bathroom. You have to be able to advocate for yourself. And that's a basic level of adulting, to be able to, like, I got to go to the bathroom. We teach kindergartners I need to go to the bathroom. May I have a pass to go to the bathroom? Kindergartners, first grade. Don't wet yourself. So if you've made it that far in life and you can't, I need to go to the bathroom, we got problems. And she purposely hired fans. And that's another thing. Exploitation of power dynamics, but it could also be you're trying to get people that are driven. You're trying to get people that are driven and motivated. So there's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of stuff in here that people are not thinking about. Who the fuck can go 12 hours without using the bathroom? Didn't everyone piss themselves? Man, somebody had to take a bow. Somebody probably had to take 12 hours. Somebody took a bow.
Somebody had to take a deuce.
A bow. I love that word, bow.
So then where the assault and false imprisonment comes in. So two of the dancers, Davis and Williams, were fired, and it was like kind of embarrassing how they did it. They kind of did it publicly. And the other dancer, Rodriguez, like didn't really like how that all went down. So she approached Lizzo and was like, I need to have a talk to you about how you handle the situation. And according to Rodriguez in this complaint, she said that Lizzo got really aggressive, approached her, cracking her knuckles, balling her fists, and exclaiming, "You're lucky. You're so effing lucky." And she says that she believes that Lizzo intended to hit her and would have done so if one of the other dancers hadn't intervened.
Now, come on, y'all. When was the last time y'all saw somebody roll up cracking their knuckles? I don't know. It just feel like an episode like of cartoon. It feels so ridiculous.
I don't think I've ever seen that. Hey, Bucko. Right? What the fuck is this?
You're
A Bruce
lucky.
Lee movie?
You're lucky. You're so lucky. I would knock you out, but I've got to play this. I've got to play this flute.
And now a flute and twerk. We should flute and twerk together. Okay.
She should have let Lizzo hit her and then she sued, and that would help. Third grade. Been a long time. I wish Lizzo would hit me and I fall out on the floor. Yeah. Man, I'm gonna have a broken orbital bone. I can see Lizzo doing it. But I'm gonna tell you though, here's the thing. More misogynoir, if you will. Black people, black women, y'all be bullies. Y'all are some bullies. A lot of times, y'all do a lot of threatening, but y'all also don't really intend on enforcing a lot of it either, and that comes with experience. Lizzo does seem corny enough to do it, but like seriously though, like seriously,
Yeah.
I mean like with the intent of I'm going to harm you.
Yeah.
I'm going to harm you, cracking like come on.
Bro, people buying to their own bullshit all the time, bro. Trust me.
3 o'clock after school, playground, be
They
there.
buying to their own shit. Yeah, this is
No,
there.
I'm not disagreeing with you on that. Because of who she is, I believe she's a bully. I believe she's a bully. But I'm talking about the dramatic description of somebody cracking their knuckles and
Yeah.
rubbing their like that just felt extra.
It's just that's what she is.
I have to
Extra.
go at least 2 times during Bro Clancy streams. You know he runs for like 6 hours. Yeah, 6, 7 hours. Yeah, he be on there for a minute. Now I'm gonna tell you though, I'm not saying she didn't crack her knuckles. I believe she walked up on them because again, black
Yeah.
women, y'all like to walk up on people. Y'all like to do a lot of stuff, and a lot of it be out of line. A lot of it be out of pocket. Y'all like applying pressure where pressure don't need to be applied. So again, that's a general tendency. That's some, not all. Shouldn't have to be said, but I know it has to be said because people in the space have a hard time comprehension. Not in my space, but in the YouTube space. But there's a general tendency for a little bullying in the black woman population. I'm not sure why, but y'all do it. Y'all do it to each other. Y'all do it to men. Y'all do it to everybody. A lot of bullying, a lot of threatening, a lot of posturing. It's just there. It's in the culture. It's like that bulldog effect, that Napoleon complex. There's a lot of that. And I kind of get where it comes from. I don't think we need to dissect the whole psychology of it, but I get that y'all need to do that sometimes. It makes y'all feel powerful.
And then the false imprisonment comes because Davis said that, like, she had been accused of she had recorded a conversation that had happened, but she said that, she has this like anxiety disability where she like can't really process it in the moment. She needs to record things and listen to it later. And the management team and Lizzo were like, you recorded this conversation, got mad. So when they fired her, they like allegedly kept her in this room, like went through her phone until they could like see that she had deleted the file.
Now that's an invasion of privacy, folks. But did she sign off on anything?
Did she?
Yeah. I'm not. Again, Billy, and I don't want to. I know because I'm going to segment out a population. I'm going to have to couch my language quite a bit. Nobody has ownership on any behavior. So that's why I said some, not all, and da 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 da. I won't have to continually give the disclaimers, but I know I might have to. There is no perfect people. So I'm not saying that anybody's perfect and nobody's the worst. I'm just talking about a tendency that I've observed through my own lived experience and the lived experience of the people around me who have shared their experiences. So white girls may be just as dumb, Billy. I'm not trying to come down on black women. I'm just explaining my experience. So I believe that black women have a tendency to bully. White girls may do the same thing. Honestly, doesn't even matter. Asian girls may do the same thing. Doesn't even matter. We're talking about Lizzo, and she's a black woman. That's kidnapping, to hold someone against their will. So I call bullshit on that claim. I ain't gonna call. I've had my phone gone through by a black woman without my permission, and we had to have a talk. It was this lady I work with. Wasn't dating, none of that. She just went through my phone. Again, that's what I'm talking about too. The tendency of there's a level of intrusiveness, there's a level of entitlement that a lot of people have, and they don't think you're going to say or do anything about. There's a lot of safety. That wall of publicly, there's a wall of safety that I think a lot of women hide behind. Now, privately, all the women kind of know, like, ooh, I'm unsafe. I'm not going to go here by myself. I'm not going to be in this, da da da. But if there's a crowd around, women tend to get a little bit more bold. Everybody does. Again, I'm going to have to couch my language a lot, I see. But everybody does. When they have numbers, everybody gets bolder. But there's a certain, I don't know, there's a level of intrusiveness, man, that I find with women.
Like you could say,
annoying.
it's a certain je ne sais quoi.
I shouldn't say quiet. No, I'm gonna tell you. I left my phone sitting on the table. We were in the break room. I got up from the table to get something from a vending machine. When I got back, she's in my messages. I'm like, why are you in my phone? I was like, yeah, but that's what I wanted to do. But again, here goes where I didn't go to the bathroom for 12 hours. I'm at work, so I'm like that power dynamic of being at work. I don't want to make a scene, so I've got to get my phone back. You know, she's trying to do the hold and like trying to keep it away from me, and I'm like, so I had to close distance. I had to close distance. I was not going to sexually assault somebody because they had my phone. But I had to close the distance enough to, because I'm taller than her, I could just reach to her furthest arm and grab the phone anyway. So that had to be the thing. I was like, don't ever do that again. And she never did it again. But, you know, even the police need a warrant to go through your phone unless you get permission. Now, I'm not going to sexually assault somebody because they violated my phone. That's you know.
I mean, you violated my privacy. I'm violating yours. Goddamn, it was good privacy for privacy. You know what I'm saying?
You can take them chances if you want to. You can take
I'm
them.
just saying.
You can play that game.
She might like. No, I'm stopping it. Don't do that.
No, I mean, I wouldn't do that generally. That's not.
Nah, don't do that.
Not advice. Not advice.
Unless, no, don't do it. Don't do it. What?
There's still so much more to unpack with this lawsuit. And now I'm also seeing that other dancers are posting in their stories, sort of corroborating what the dancers in this lawsuit are saying and saying they had similar experiences. So I'm going to keep sharing more as I get more information.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nah, it is crazy. And oh yeah, they're gonna talk about it, and they're gonna there's some footage in here from the actual people who are suing, so we're gonna get to that. Yeah, they're gonna be talking about it. There are several different things stitched together. Yanni did her homework. I appreciate her. Thank you, Yanni, for your service. Appreciate you. In false imprisonment though, I don't like the fact that they did that. Like, but I get not wanting people to record your conversations. That's illegal in a lot of places. I don't know. They were overseas. I don't know what the rules are over there about recording conversations and all that kind of stuff. Because that's also an invasion of privacy. If you're not letting people know that you're recording the conversations with them, that's also an invasion of privacy. So there has to be some level of accountability on both sides because we're all adults. From my experience, people flex when they have influence, money, perceived power, anything that makes them feel special. Power, corrupt. Absolutely. God is on it. Absolutely. Because I know as a guy, even the way I approached getting my phone back was from a position of power. I knew I had the physical upper hand and I could walk open and I could overpower her to take my phone back. There's a level of power and privilege that every group has, but it all looks different. Not all of it's physical, not all of it's financial, not all of it's this. I mean, we all have different zones of influence, power, control that we try to exert and leverage. Which is like, even like I'm claiming disability because that's a power play. I'm using the power of law to claim leverage over because I have a disability and I was discriminated against because I want to be able to record conversations. It's all leverage. It's all power. It's all control. All of us just don't have the ability to do it ourselves. Some of us have to get enforcement arms to help us back up our power.
As I dig into the details of this lawsuit against Lizzo's production company, and the captain of the dance squad, there are two overarching themes that carry out throughout this entire complaint. One, the captain of the dance squad, Shirlene Quigley, allegedly was extremely pushy about her religious beliefs to the point that it made the other dancers extremely uncomfortable. And in addition to this pushy religious behavior, because she was their supervisor, there were times that she was allegedly acting very inappropriate and it went unchecked because she was their supervisor. And two, it seems that Lizzo's biggest mistake was blurring that line between, employer, employee, and friends. Some of the...
What did Leah say? Melissa was trying to buy friends. You got to be careful when you have power. With great power comes great responsibility. When you have power, when you're the person that signs somebody's check especially, or you could hire and fire somebody, that's a lot of power. They try to put in rules against fraternization for that very reason because those lines get blurred. Most people can't navigate that respectfully, skillfully. Most people just don't have that ability to switch hats. So I can be your friend, like, people like being your mom and your friend, like being a parent, trying to be that friend parent, even that's problematic. Most people can't do that successfully because eventually you're going to have to take on that role of authority and people are going to get pissed. which is what happened here. These people got punished for certain things, and now they're trying to use the law to get back at them. So if they were the ones getting favored, because remember when the lady started talking, she was like, we were doing things because some of the other people got preferential treatment. If you party with Lizzo, you got preferential treatment, and you got better jobs or better job assignments. So I want to get that same preferential treatment. And if I don't get it, well, now I'm complaining. If I get fired or I get punished, well, now I'm complaining. Now I'm suing. If they were in the favored position, we wouldn't be seeing a lawsuit. And that's something that goes across society. People really only complain when it doesn't go in their favor. If somebody has it better than them. If everybody had the exact same treatment, most people wouldn't be complaining about it. Familiarity breeds contempt. As old as the rocks. For sure, Billy.
So I was gonna ask real quick, not to derail and get off into it, but it's another example. So like the situation with Vince McMahon, right? And how he was supposed to have paid out this hush money, like millions of dollars of hush money to like women who were supposed to have did shit, right? Is that kind of the same idea? Because I had that same kind of thought about hush money. Like, you took money to be quiet, and now that money gone, now you sitting up here running your mouth about what happened. Like, part of you, regardless of the situation, part of it was you participating in it. You know what I'm saying? By taking that hush money, and now that I didn't know hush money had an expiration date. Because what's the point of me giving you $3 million to be quiet if you're gonna eventually talk? You give me my money back. Okay, look, can I sue somebody for not being quiet when I give them the hush money?
Did you get them to sign the NDA? Like, are they violating an agreement?
Did I get her to sign an NDA? I don't remember. Oh, did I say that out loud? My bad.
You did?
Totally not Bruce Wayne. Totally not Bruce Wayne. My name is Rashawn.
Wow. Wow. Nah, I mean it's similar. It's similar. Because the hush money is you're asking for a service, but the problem is if it's not on the books, if you don't have an NDA, that's just a handshake agreement.
Right.
That's a handshake, and anybody can break a handshake. I mean, there's no way to enforce that.
Right.
That's a verbal contract. So you could have gave me that money for anything. Matter of fact, you played that clip with the lady talking about I just gave her $20. It could have been for anything. So you weren't trying to buy something? No, I just gave her $20, and if something happened, something happened. I mean, because you trying to do something shady. You weren't trying to buy some rock. Yeah, I was buying some rock. I mean, that was fun. That was fun.
I don't sell rock. I'm a prostitute.
Yeah, man. That hush money, man, it's got that Harris Tribe Media Group, plausible deniability. If I just give you some money and you happen to disappear, quit talking about stuff, then it just works out in both our favor. You got a bunch of money, and you quit talking about what I didn't want you to talk about. Nobody's the wiser. But some people get a taste of that money. You know what you feed an alley cat, they're gonna keep coming back. You get somebody a taste of money and they know that's the faucet. Why would they stay quiet? Matter of fact, they have an incentive to keep telling you got to keep paying me if you want me to stay quiet. I'm feeling real leaky.
I mean, we
gotta turn that faucet
on
because I'm feeling about to start.
I do installments. You just can't take a chunk of money and then you can't take a settlement though.
Yeah.
And then talk 20 years later. Now, if you want me to just give you like $100K every year, I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah, give me a lump sum, and then when that runs out, you better start paying some installments. Stall me out, Debo.
Damn, man. Fuck. That's right. I just was asking because I heard you was talking about like at some point you can't get out of that. You know what I'm saying? And what part of you are participating? This is fucked up though. I don't know. I don't know who to believe. I'm trying to believe
We're dealing with messy people. We're messy people, and we're dealing with messy people. Yeah, it's hard to believe all women when you're dealing with all women and they got conflicting stories, right?
Yeah, man. Like between the Lizzo and the hard place.
Man.
What I say?
And now flute and twerk. We should flute and twerk together.
See, the trick is it was never the flute making that sound, y'all. That was that was, that was the trick. It was never the flute. It was never the flute making it.
What's so funny about it, Bree? Men can't talk about women. We can't talk about what women do. We don't have a perspective to offer. We can't talk about power dynamic. You always talking about patriarchy. All y'all's power and privilege. Y'all's male privilege. So we can't talk about power dynamics. We don't know nothing about it since we done perpetuated the entire world of pain that women have been oppressed by. Princess. Get out of here. Black male is different from different perspectives. Facts.
Why I gotta be black male, Willie?
Racist. I gotta be black male. It's funny. Yeah. Such a mama.
Allegations in this lawsuit are that Lizzo or associates of Lizzo would invite the dancers to strip clubs, and there would be performers shooting bananas out of their hoo-has, and the dancers.
Wait, hold on, wait. They were shooting bananas out there. Oh, wait, hold on.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I missed that part.
Where is this at? Please.
I missed that part.
Why I can't get harassed like this?
Man.
Some of the allegations in this lawsuit are that Lizzo or associates of Lizzo would invite the dancers to strip clubs, and there would be performers shooting bananas out of their hoo-has, and the dancers would catch them, or they'd be asked to like eat a banana out of places on the performers. All behavior that an employer should not be engaging in with their employee. That is reserved for like your.
Where was this? I'm booking a flight now. I'm going right now. I'm booking.
That sounds amazing.
Right, I want to go.
That sounds amazing.
I am jealous.
We should sue for not having had that done to us.
I promise you.
Man.
We've been talking.
They shooting bananas, and you're catching them. He catching bullets with his teeth. He catching bullets with his teeth. Man.
Damn.
Puss-pedos, boy. Puss-pedos. I like it.
Like a jug machine, like the machine with the face on and shit.
Foof. I need to hear the sound. I need to hear. Could you say that jug machine?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Oh, they gotta eat it. Catch it with your mouth. You gotta catch it with your mouth, Bree. That's talented. Syphilis numbers. Yeah, you're right. I just saw a lady that got never mind. Never mind. Bree just killed all the fun.
Y'all went to the pineapple store?
I mean, go ahead, please.
I mean, you know, I'm not against fruit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against fruit play. You know what I'm saying? I'm not at all. So there once was a chunk of pineapple.
I knew you was gonna grow from Nantucket. Go ahead.
There once was a piece of pineapple, right? You know, and this pineapple had grew on do they grow on a tree? They grew on a tree, and it aspired to have a life of nourishment to somebody, to be digested in a way that would help someone, you know, become healthy. You know, fruit is there for the for the nourishment, right?
Yeah, of the community.
For the community. Well, unfortunately for this the pineapple here, it was a part of a experiment, so to speak, right? You know, and it accidentally got dropped in the holiest of holies. The black hole is the blackest of the black holes.
Billy said pineapple shouldn't taste like fish.
Hey man, that look, I can tell you that we went in search of that pineapple. Like them people went in search of the folks down in the Titanic thing. We went and looked for it. We searched high and low, in and out, left and right. That pineapple was gone, y'all.
The little chunk that could.
The little chunk, man. R.I.P. Chunky. He was a good pineapple chunk. Booty.
I think he's talking about the cootie, not the
Yeah,
booty.
yeah. It was rough. I don't want to get too explicit on the show. I think we already
They
talked.
lost the chunk, yo.
Yeah, we lost the chunk.
Lost the chunk. That's where that Sprite can went. And they shooting bananas. Man, fish apples. Fish apples. Hey.
Listen,
So I mean you almost saw the routine at the strip club. I mean they're shooting out bananas, but y'all are making pineapples disappear.
yeah, so right, you got the people who get shot out of the cannon and stuff like that. Well, these like vagina magicians, basically. You know what I'm saying? Watch me make
Magicians.
vampire magicians. There you go.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Watch me
It's
make this pineapple
magic.
disappear. Magic. Ooh, I like it. Trademark it.
I think we all do. I think we all do.
I like it.
Lizzo did. Lizzo liked it. And
I don't know.
unfortunately
That's the
she tried to share the beauty of magic with her crew and they didn't appreciate it.
that's that black magic.
Black magic. Ooh.
Closest ride or die friends. Also, what's interesting as reading through this lawsuit is, we know Lizzo obviously as a celebrity, an online celebrity, and that's all we know about her. And it's hard to sometimes separate like what is the real person versus like what is the persona, because we don't know that. So for instance, one of the claims is about assault, and one of the dancers talked about how they confronted Lizzo after they didn't like how one of the other dancers was fired, and allegedly Lizzo got really mad, cracked her knuckles, balled up her fist, and that allegedly, there was going to be an altercation if one of the other dancers hadn't, broken it up.
Yeah.
And what the dancer alleges is that as Lizzo was leaving the room, she threw up her middle fingers and yelled, "Bye, bitch." Now, we've all seen the viral videos of, Lizzo doing that. So it's like easy for us to believe that could happen. But then it's also like, would an employer do this to an employee? It just seems so insane.
It doesn't really seem so insane when you consider everything else they've alleged. This is
Right.
somebody who's blurred the line between a friend and a boss. You're taking them to strip clubs and y'all hanging out and y'all drinking together. And you're encouraging them to touch boobies. Like, why? Like, why would you then like this stuff is strange? No, these are people who are blurring lines, and this is what's going to happen because people don't know where they stand. Lizzo just wanted them to be great. And that's the problem, Apex. The person that you take out to touch titties is going to have a hard time when you try to audition them for 12 hours to keep their job. They're not going to like that switch. That switch of, okay, we're operating as peers one day, and the next I'm a peon. I'm not going to like that fluctuation. It's not going to feel good. You're sunning me. But, you were hanging out with them. We got Chef Shapino in the building. Salute to you, sir. Good to see you. But it's crazy that everybody's acting like Lizzo was like completely out of line. Again, as a professional, as a boss, definitely wrong. But as a person, when you are okay accepting all of the when you're accepting all of the preferential treatment of being taken out by your boss and all that stuff, for me, I don't like it when it doesn't land your way. Then you want to sue. I mean, take the L, quit, cool, but suing because when it didn't land your way, to me, that's always been dirty. But that's a me. That's a preference for me because you could always just walk away. But yeah, it just didn't go your way. You're right, but why are they upset when this is the matriarchy that women? Listen, Apex. Listen. This is the sister circle that everybody thought they wanted. Everybody
Hmm.
would be equals and friends, and we could all hang out and braid each other's hair and go to the strip club and shoot bananas. It would be amazing until you get work 12 hours one day. Until that
Okay.
boss, your sister tells you, nah, you gotta earn your spot. Then it gets tough because then we're back into a hierarchy. Hierarchies exist. And we can't make those disappear like bananas and pineapples.
Oh yeah. That's why I say that like I try to be like that, man. But they are the worst type of friends to each other. So I don't even see how that type of dynamic can work in a employer employee relationship. You know what I'm saying? That kind of like it's just too. Obama would never have a female president. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. All right, just like women in head top leadership is problematic, even when they leading women. That's like the idea they be talking about. If Honor Man was gone, we'd be y'all. Look, it would either be really great or it would be the downfall of humanity in like 3 weeks. Because you know what I'm saying. When y'all got to figure out who's gonna be the head at the HBIC, oh my god, oh my god.
Said, nah, in honor of equality, dear women, they cannot be upset when they created this society. Hey, that's the point though. That's one of the points I was going to make. As far as women are now in positions of power, they're able to be the bosses. They're able to run companies and be CEOs and have multi-million dollar endeavors. Y'all can do that now. But on the opposite side of that is the responsibility that a lot of men have had to learn to navigate as society has shifted and evolved. And we can't take all the liberties, men can't take all the liberties that they used to. Those same liberties also then restrict you as well. When you step into that position of power and privilege, you have to then navigate as a person of power and privilege. You don't get to carry your, the victim cape with you, because like Yella said, this is woman on woman. Somebody did something.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't be the victim of everything. So either Lizzo is violating her power and privilege, or these people are not disillusioned. There's a word for it. But either way, they're pissed that they got fired. They pissed that they got asked to work. They got pissed that they had to prove themselves. One or the other is true. Could be a little
Oh,
bit of bleed over in both. They could both be problematic. If you don't go out with the boss, are you going to have a job anymore? And that's the power dynamic part. That's the problem with the boss. If they truly felt that, we don't know if they truly felt that. There's no way to know because the power dynamic disgruntled. Thank you, thank you, Leah. Disgruntled is the word I was looking for. Thank you, man, genius. But that's the problem. We'll never know. That's why it's safer to never engage in those type of fraternizations, because there's no way to know if they actually felt that. There's no way to know if they felt threatened. They say that after the fact, but we have no idea real time what they felt. It's just safer not to do it. And again, if they went anyway, and they went anyway multiple times, and they stayed and they were there up until somebody got asked to do the audition, or they stayed up until somebody got fired. That's another thing that we have to contend with and talk about as a society, because we see that a lot. Everybody is okay with other people being treated the way that they are up until it hits them. Then when it lands on you, all of a sudden it's a problem. We have to start having problems with the way people are being treated as soon as we see it. What is that, an injustice? Anywhere is an injustice everywhere. If we cannot step in because we see somebody else being mistreated, it's not, you can't wait until it hits you and, oh my God, I didn't know they were like that. You saw them behave this way the entire time. They didn't suddenly just become a new person. So that's something that we have to take on as individuals. But I know some people will never have the courage to stand up, especially if you don't have the courage to stand up in 12 hours to go to the bathroom. If you won't go to the bathroom and you'll sit there and wet yourself like a child, like a toddler, really, because children even go to the bathroom, I don't know what to expect. I don't know how these people survive. I don't want to be that guy. But however, I don't know why she's suing when Lizzo is the only plus size superstar. What other entertainer uses plus size dancers? I don't know. Her market was one of one. Yeah, I'm guessing why they were so afraid to be fired. That's true too. That is true too. That does compound the pressure to perform. So there's a lot of dynamics there. There's a lot in here. There's the power dynamics, the scarcity of opportunity. All of that are real things. But did they feel that, or did they only feel it when their position was threatened? So when we participate in these hierarchies, when it doesn't land our way, for me, it's just as unethical for the person who's abusing the hierarchy as it is for somebody to willingly participate in it as long as it benefits them. But the moment it doesn't, want to overthrow it. Like, no, we got to stop this. That's weird to me. To me, both of them show a lack of consistency. Ignorance is bliss until you get hit upside the head, man. That's the way they play. But you got to keep your eyes open. And there's no way, like, at least that one person said, I don't like the way you treated so and so. But of course, it got them hemmed up.
But I think ultimately this is going to come down to just proof of like what was reported and what was ignored by management. You know, another of the allegations made in this suit is that there was, a bus driver and, one of the dancers brushed past him and he said something like, oh, you can back that thing on up close to me. And they allegedly made complaints to the management team about how there was inappropriate behavior, but nothing was done. So
now that's another problem with the management being so cozy. That's another problem with familiarity. Because, man, when you breed a culture, like, this is a culture problem. There's a you have a very loose and lax culture. What's they call it? Laissez-faire. You have a very lax culture where everything's permissible and people aren't always going to feel comfortable in it. People are going to feel comfortable in it with the people who they're comfortable with. And then as soon as somebody like the bus driver, maybe he's unattractive, maybe he stink, maybe he got bad breath. When he says something like that, I don't feel comfortable with you joking with me like that. Because maybe me and Lizzo joke like that, but you're not my boss. I'm not going to tolerate it from you. So it's going to start to become a problem. So that's another dynamic when you have a culture like that. It does when they talk a hostile work environment. That's a real thing. All that has to be considered. I agree with that too. So I see why she got away with that abuse for so long. And what are you going to do when the people that are problematic to you are your bosses? Who do you report to? Like, who polices the police?
Who can I run to?
Who can I run to?
When
I wonder would this be an issue.
Make me catch these bananas. Who can I run to?
Syphilis bananas. I wonder would this be an issue if it was Beyonce and not Lizzo.
Hell
I
no.
bet Beyonce is professional. I would bet money that her production is professional. I bet she does not do a whole bunch of fraternizing. I bet. This is a handler problem. Handlers are supposed to stop you doing dumb shit. Facts. You need some adults in the room. And that's the issue with some people ascending to places of power and privilege who are not prepared for it. And that's going to happen a lot, especially on the social media side. I would guarantee that 9 out of 10 people that like ascend to really high heights in the social media domain, like the people that go viral, they're not equipped. They didn't learn the necessary skills to handle a business that they created with finances, but they don't know how to manage people. They don't know how to manage themselves amongst people. They didn't have to learn that. Then all of a sudden they've got $1 million, $5 million, $10 million blowing up. Then you're going to find some scandals because they don't know how to carry it. They don't know how to carry that weight. I don't think Beyonce launches bananas with her dancers, but I can imagine grueling auditions, but they probably allow potty breaks. Exactly. But that's part of professionalism. Having grueling auditions, having to prove yourself through work, that should be standard and normal. But you do have labor laws that, you provide people with breaks and lunches.
Look,
So
she probably do be on the same thing. The only difference is if you complain to Beyonce, they take you out in the back and throw you in the incinerator, and your ass is never heard from again. Cause I promise you, she just got enough money to she like bring an incinerator with her. Like, you know what I'm saying? It don't even be like an incinerator. Remember the thing from Monsters Inc. where they just like drilled the thing down to the ground and they just zapped the sock away and shit like that. That's pretty. She got enough money to send you to like the what's the place Superman would send you to like the quantum realm or some shit
I
like
know you're
that.
talking about the shadow,
Phantom Zone. Yeah, the
Phantom
Phantom
Zone.
Zone. Yeah. Shit, like, oh girl, what's the one chick, the one member of Destiny's Child? We ain't seen from her again.
Which one, Farrah?
I don't. Is that her name? She been missing. I ain't seen her in like
Probably
8
Farrah. I
years.
ain't seen Farrah in a minute. I've seen Latoya Luckett. She's been acting, and Latavia. I've seen her, but Farrah's the one I haven't seen anywhere. The one that came with Michelle. It was Farrah. Michelle came with.
Yeah, right. It was
Yeah.
the replacement fourth one. We ain't seen
Mm-hmm.
her in that never.
Nope.
She just fell off. Man,
Phantom
she
Zone.
fell off into the phantom zone. She seen something, and she got through into the back of the car. We ain't never seen her again.
Yeah. And what she saw turned her hair completely white before she got thrown into the Phantom Zone. It was that.
Yep.
It was that
Mhm.
crazy. But Aaliyah makes a point too. That's another thing I don't think I haven't heard people talk about. If, like Bree said, she's hiring a lot of fans and not professionals, and
Mhm.
because plus size dancers is not a common job, are these people just not used to the standards in entertainment? Because I guarantee somebody who's familiar with industry, there probably are a lot of people that have lax standards and boundary issues, but it's normal. Because I hear about people talk about Hollywood, Hollywood. I bet there's a lot of culture that a lot of people are more normalized into.
Mhm.
That would sound a lot more like well, they wouldn't be suing. They'd be like, oh, I'm going to the next job. I'm just go get another job. But these people
Right.
aren't familiar with that kind of culture. Excuse me, I'm not saying it's right or excusing it. I'm just saying there are places that where the culture is broken, but we've normalized it, and everybody's kind of adapted to it. And if these people are not used to being in the entertainment business and dancing and on tour, maybe they wouldn't know that the long auditions are standard. Maybe they wouldn't know that going out with the boss is expected and all that. I mean, maybe they wouldn't have just accepted it because it's abnormal for them. It's atypical for them.
That's I was just watching Adam Savage, a dude from Mythbusters. You ever watch Mythbusters? Yeah, so he was talking about how the shoots were like 12-hour shoots, basically like 5 days a week almost, and they did that for months and it burned them out. You know
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying? Because they're scientists. They're not entertainment people, right? So like they work on the sets doing the stunts, but it's different when you yeah, yeah, what's it called? Everything is a hammer. Every tool is a hammer. You know what I'm saying? I love that title. But is that grind of them not being necessarily prepared to, because it's different when you like the stunt dude and you got to come in for a scene as opposed to the actor who's been in this role for hours, like Mystique. What's her girl when you play Mystique?
Jennifer Lawrence
Jennifer Lawrence and
or the
Rebecca
main one.
Romaine.
Yeah,
Both of them, they kind of
gotcha.
had to deal with the same issue because they put on this full body thing and they just in it for hours. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? And it ain't always a trap door to go use the bathroom. So, you know, maybe you do got to hold your pee for 12 hours.
yeah. You got to prep for that.
Yeah.
Get everything out your system ahead of time. If you know, I mean, that comes with like repetition. Like
Right,
you've
right,
been yeah
right.
yeah. That's not something. The first time you do something like that, which I'm sure, plus size dancing on a tour, this might have been the first time a lot of these people did that. Especially if she really hired fans, like Bree said, then they probably wouldn't know some of the things that are going to be expected of them. Where them aliens at?
Yeah, where the aliens at?
That was just weird and random.
If there was people at the top that were getting complaints and nothing was being done, this is where they're going to have real issues. Also, I want to address the fat shaming and body shaming that was being talked about, because obviously that was the most
Yep.
shocking part of the allegations that were coming out. Now, it's not included in the actual
Oh, the
lawsuit because fat shaming isn't illegal, so they're not suing for that, but they do talk about it in the lawsuit. So there were no instances of like people, calling other people fat or anything like that. That didn't go down. But what happened is one of the dancers said that like she had been putting on weight and she noticed it and felt like that management and Lizzo noticed it and that they were inferring that, some of her issues could be related to that weight gain, but they never said it. It was all inferred. And then another allegation is that after one of the other dancers got fired is that Lizzo, said, weight gain could be cause for termination, and the dancer alleges that she looked right at her and felt she was talking specifically about her.
Now, I thought that was cute. Mom, I'd argue that that's not the most shocking part. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. But here's everybody's coming at Lizzo. Everybody's coming at Lizzo for being a hypocrite, talking about body positivity, but then fat shaming people. even if you're hiring plus size dancers, if you're having issues, if you're having some issues, I know doctors that no matter what you go into, if you're obese, the first thing they're going to say is it's probably weight related. No matter what you're going for. I got a headache. My leg hurts. I'm feeling something in my stomach. I feel something in my chest. I'm dizzy. It might be weight related, but let's check some stuff. Doctors will do that. So, of all people. But what I'm saying is, it's actually legitimate. It's actually legitimate that if you're having issues while you're on tour, that it could be if your knees are hurting, if your ankles are sore and swollen, while you're popping around and locking in some heels at 280, it might actually be weight related. It might just actually be weight related. It could be. That's not shaming. It's just the truth. Lizzo probably knows. She probably like, girl, I'll be putting some icy hot on my knees every night. It might be weight related. That's not shaming. And she said one of the other people got let go. One of the other people got let go. And they inferred that it might have been because of weight. It could be. Now again, they hired you because of your weight. It's also possible for there to be some issues that come with your weight as well. It's weird to say they shamed somebody because they fired them because of weight when they also hired you because of your weight. That's kind of a crazy double standard. So they can hire you because of your weight, but they can't fire you because of an issue in the same way. Maybe you got too small. Maybe you got too big. They might have a window of acceptability because they want their dancers to be able to move and look a certain way. As entertainers, that doesn't seem too far-fetched to me. That doesn't seem crazy. But I know everybody's going to harp on her for being a hypocrite. But you're gonna have some issues with weight. Being judged on your appearance is also very normal for entertainment. Exactly. So it's strange to me because they got hired. They got hired specifically for being bigger women. There are going to be things that comes with being a bigger woman, a bigger man. I'm a big person. I'm a big guy. There are things that hurt. It's weight related, and I know what they are, and that's okay. Shouldn't be able to sue for that. And they said you can't. That's not illegal fat shaming, but it's still crazy. I've auditioned and probably didn't get all callbacks for my size. It happens. Facts. Isn't Lizzo bigger than all of her dancers? I don't get it. How can you require your dancers to do something that you're not even doing yourself? Vaughn. Because they're literally doing something that she's not. They're backup dancers. She gets to choose how she wants them to look and be. She might want to be flanked by people who are smaller than her because she's trying to be the biggest one. We don't know what they're going for. And because you don't know what they're going for, what kind of stage presence, what kind of look, what kind of balance they're trying to achieve. Because people even try to color block with shading, like skin tone. People try to put, I'm going to put 2 light people right here and 2 dark people in the. People look for all kinds of different things. But I just find it strange that just simply because they were having weight-related issues, all of a sudden she's a hypocrite. I can't say that. I cannot say that. And I know everybody's going to jump on that, but you can really have weight-related issues. All of Beyonce's dancers right now have to be blonde. Yeah, so I get it. I get it. So I'm not really tripping. I know everybody's going to trip on her having a weight-related requirement or something. But again, they got hired because they were plus-size women. So it's weird to me that then we're also going to put that, like, oh, we're going to ding her because that's kind of weird.
While I've, heard of like weight gain being cause for termination, it's usually at a place like Hooters where you have to wear the specific uniforms. So I do think it was surprising, to hear that allegedly weight gain could be cause for termination in this instance. But again, we have to hear the other side of the story. There will be responses to this complaint. And so, maybe we'll see the bigger picture, but overall.
The bigger picture. Maybe we'll see the bigger picture.
Fist bump, my nigga. Virtual fist bump. Virtual fist bump. Because you was on the same thing with me. Because that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
It's still just really.
Following the lawsuit, Lizzo continues to face allegations of having a toxic work environment. Filmmaker Sophia Allison, who claims she was previously hired to direct a documentary on the singer, shared her negative experience working with Lizzo on her Instagram stories Tuesday. In 2019, she said, "I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after 2 weeks," Allison wrote. "I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind she is."
So in addition to dancers who are starting to come forward,
and a bunch of people are trying to come out. Now this is a me thing. This is a me thing. I really get tired of the snowball effect. I know that's a thing. Like when the first person says something, it makes other people, gives them the courage to speak up. We got too many cowards. We got too many cowards that sit there and not say nothing. But that somebody else got to say something first. If you really saw the problem with it, like speak up. Or like I really think people should like just shut up for a long time. Like just stay quiet. Because I'm so sick of this. That's some lady though, some other lady on TikTok, and I didn't bring this one, who she's saying Lizzo started her boyfriend before she got famous. I'm like, oh my God, are y'all serious? Like, everybody's trying to jump on a band. There's something about me that even before social media, I really hated that. That person has always got to come like, or somebody said something that everybody's on that train.
Yeah.
Like man, the bigger
Yeah,
picture.
like I seen the one dude who was like, you talking about Beyonce. The one dude who was like, yeah, I was Beyonce's first love, or I took Beyonce to the prom. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like, dude, you don't get your ass out of here. You down there 40, boy. You better go on somewhere. I mean, his wife is mad. She like, so what the fuck?
Yeah, in 2019, and I don't really care if celebrity shit. It's just weird. And I know I was watching something else. They were talking about Doja Cat's father didn't come around until she was famous and was getting money. I'm like, stay away. You weren't bothered with these people until they got famous. I really hate when people come around when something's blowing up or like there's a train. I can't stand wave riders. I can't stand it. I don't know why. It's a personal thing. I know everybody's not gonna bow bow. You're the hero until you the villain. Facts. Yeah, she was a hero. Lizzo was the hero. Now she's lived long enough to become the villain for sure. Cause man, people coming out the woodworks.
To share their experiences of working with Lizzo. Other creators who have worked with Lizzo are sharing their stories as well. Sophia Allison says she worked on Lizzo's documentary for about 2 weeks before walking away. She says, "I usually don't comment on anything pop culture related, but in 2019, I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after about 2 weeks. I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind she is. I was not protected and was thrown into a shitty situation with little support."
Now, this is the guy in me. This is the guy in me. I'm really sick. I'm so sick of hearing the word protected. I'm so sick of it. Nobody's ever protected. I'm sure you were completely safe. But throwing that safety, threatened, like harm, protected, all that stuff, I'm so sick of that. But again, that's me. This could really be career damaging. I'm wondering what will come of all this. No, for real, it's seriously probably going to damage her brand. She's probably been an asshole for quite some time because she is. I mean, she's Lizzo. She has made her bones being a plus size, dancing, singing, twerking person who'll go to a basketball game with her cheeks out. Like you're going to be a little of a wild. You're going to be a little bit of a wild card to take her path in life. To take her path to fame, you're going to be a little bit of a wild card. You're not going to be Mother Teresa. You're going to have some asshole tendencies because you're going to deal with a lot of public shaming. That's going to give you some sort of an edge, or sort. You're not going to be Malcolm. You're not going to be Martin Luther King. You're not going to have that passive temperament because people are talking about you all day online. If you go to any comment section on anything that has you featured, you're going to see a lot of negative comments. How could you possibly be the sweetest Shirley Temple person in the world? It doesn't even make sense. Why would we even expect that of her with all the stuff we know Lizzo's a running joke among men? Why would we? And we know probably with half of women. I don't know that to be true. I don't talk to a lot of women about Lizzo. I know I've had a ton of guy jokes about Lizzo. I don't know how women feel about her. Truth be told. But if your existence was constantly being belittled, negated, made fun of, mocked, you were the example of something that a lot of people just made fun of. You were like Lizzo is like almost like not a verb. What's that word? Almost like used as a noun, like a
Yeah,
oh, that's a Lizzo. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a Lizzo over there.
adjective,
Like
adjective almost.
adjective.
Or,
Yeah.
I think so. Or
I
pronoun.
wonder what's going to happen to Lizzo's career when she drops weight. Her career is not sustainable at that weight. It's not. That's why, like weight related and dancing, it's legit. What if her dancer was having some knee pains and couldn't twerk like she was at the beginning of the thing because she was picking up weight eating over in Amsterdam? You done put on 15 pounds, and that might have been the 15 pounds too much for your joints. That's a legitimate thing. That's legit. As somebody who lost weight recently, the difference between 10 and 15 pounds, you can feel it. You can feel it at certain weights. And you never know where that threshold of tolerance is for your body. Yeah. So, I like her letting somebody go because of weight, that's reasonable. Just because she can carry it at more weight doesn't mean everybody else can. Everybody doesn't have the same tolerance.
We know the lead is not dancing as hard as the background dancer.
Man, I never really paid much attention to her. She seems to be attention seeking, but I wasn't a hater or a fan. Yeah, I get that. Too many coochie bananas, man. Buddy.
Just understanding that I'm so proud of Leah. Just understanding that she could type that now. I'm just so proud of Leah. Thanks for the nanas.
Oh yeah, thanks for the glizzies. Thanks for the glizzies. Okay, I ain't even gonna do that.
You can pause to read the rest of this, but then she followed it up with another story. She says, to be clear, since I've spoken out, I've had others privately share their very similar experiences, and I've also been affirmed by people who witnessed what I went through. Lizzo creates an extremely toxic and hostile working environment and undermines the work, labor, and authority of other Black and brown women in the process. Notice how the documentary ended up being directed by a cis white man. Sophia goes on to say, she is a narcissistic bully and has built her brand off of lies. I was excited to support and protect a Black woman through the documentary process, but quickly learned her image and message was a curated facade. I stand with the dancers and anyone who has had some.
Hey, congrats, Apex. Man, that's a great example, because I mean Apex is way smaller than me. So he dropped 20 pounds and the doctor hugged him because his A1C was low and thinks he may be off diabetes, man. So congratulations for sure. Shout out to the pandemic weight. So man, congratulations to you, because like thankfully I don't even have to be on the meds, and I'm like twice your size. You feel me? So it's like everybody's tolerance is different. So tripping on her because she got rid of somebody because of weight, we don't know what that meant. So I can't call her a hypocrite because somebody might not have been able to carry it. Somebody's body them knees might have not been kneeing. Somebody might have lost them Meg knees at just one whopper too many. In her case, I believe that's a true statement. Her background dancers are doing quite a bit more than she is. Plus, she's just gonna Vaughn. She's only gonna do the one thing.
And now flute and twerk. We should flute and twerk together.
Okay. Flute and twerk. Man, congrats. For sure. Let me see. On the other hand, Beyonce matches what her dancers are doing. Yeah, Beyonce be out there putting in work. Beyonce, she's on another level. Thank you. All plus when you have a tiny woman from El Salvador up your ass about, you kind of hit that treadmill. Man, listen. Yeah, she on you. Pineapples. The good pineapples, not the yellow pineapples.
Similar experiences working with her and her team. These working conditions are not okay. A makeup artist who also has worked with Lizzo also posted a story saying, I've seen that some folks have recently gone the route of suing a popular musician who they were employed by because of mistreatment. She says, I wasn't strong enough to move that way, but sometimes I wish I would have. I never wanted to be the squeaky wheel, but I'm still empowered tonight by those who are. She ended by saying,
and see, that's on my nerves. We need more empowered people.
They hitting all
we need more empowered people.
They're hitting all the what's the names for you right now.
All the trigger points, man. All the little trigger points, man.
Yeah, my bad, man.
What
I don't like to see you go through.
It's all good. What skill to shake your ass with a long thing in your mouth? Pause. She should have just said Lizzie. Lizzo's a trip.
Ego is a treacherous demon.
It is.
Still no comment from Lizzo's camp yet, but I expect with all of these stories coming forward, a statement will have to come out sooner than later.
But I'm trying to go to the show where you eat the banana out the. Which one is that?
This is the banana bar.
Yella trying to go too. It's the banana bar, Yella.
Where? Hold
the
on.
Banana
hold
bar.
on.
The banana bar.
Hold on, son. Hold on. We there. You see me Googling, goddamn. The banana bar. Let's see. Come on through banana bar.
Amsterdam.
Oh yeah, the city I'm trying to go to. Let's do it. Yeah.
The bananin. Interesting.
The banana bar.
Yeah. Tales from the red light district. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Look, I told you, Amsterdam is on my bucket list, y'all.
My knees need empowerment. Man, you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one, Ty. You ain't the only one. Why is she so difficult to work with? She sounds like a bull. And she probably is. A lot of people are. Shoot, Anita Baker was she kicked somebody off tour recently. Who was she? Anita Baker. And Anita Baker ain't even Lizzo. Like, she's a icon in the in the black community. She just kicked somebody off tour for being a little bit late. And we're talking about Lizzo kicking people off because they gained some weight. I wasn't trying to rhyme. But who did she kick off? Was it Babyface? I think it was Babyface. He was late to a show. She kicked him off the whole tour. Scratched him. So yeah, wait. That was an inspiration? Yeah, Babyface. Listen, a lot of artists are temperamental, and because they've reached a certain level of fame, they got a certain level of ego and arrogance and entitlement. That should kind of be understood. If you find a kind, loving superstar, you found an anomaly. Like, you found an anomaly. Somebody that's humble and respectable. Yeah, she run a tight ship. A lot of them do, and it makes sense. That this is their livelihood. You get a bad show. How long did we talk about Left Shark? Was that Katy Perry with that one shark that wasn't doing their job? That shark probably needed to be fired. That one shark that couldn't hit none of the moves.
Man, I needed some bananas.
Might need some bananas. What do you get from bananas? What nutrients are in bananas? We need to look that up. Let me see.
Potassium.
There we go. I bet that's good for your knees. I bet. I got a feeling. Let me see. What is potassium good for? I bet it's good for joints. Potassium. Let's see. Help maintain fluid levels in the body because you really don't want extra fluid on your knees. Yep. Help reduce blood pressure, water retention. Yeah, prevent osteoporosis. Yeah. Type of electrolyte that helps send signals and muscles and heart. Yeah, you dancing. Yeah, so they probably needed some bananas. That was her roundabout way of giving a warning. I like it. We need to go to the banana bar because y'all's moves ain't been. You ain't been hitting that three when I need you to hit that.
Well, that's the banana bar?
Yeah,
and then you have the banana in the coochie?
And ping pong balls.
And you have to go.
Yes. And
That's what I want to do.
Then you have to eat it.
I need my potassium, if you know what I'm saying.
I should have
Let's
just
get
let
into
it
my
play.
opinion, and I just have to put this disclaimer in here. My opinion is going to be very much unpopular. So if you don't want to hear an unpopular opinion, go ahead and click off the video. I'll wait. Okay, so I'm going to assume that if you stayed, you want to listen to my unpopular opinion. The allegations that are out against Lizzo are not shocking. This woman over the years has shown that she can say whatever, she can do whatever, and she gets praised for it. Her fan base encourages her antics.
Pause. Come on, y'all. I know y'all.
Hmm.
I know y'all like what y'all see. I know y'all like. Throw some peaches in the chat. Throw some peaches. Throw some peaches in the chat, Vaughn. Brother Vaughn. I know Brother Vaughn Brian is really enjoying what he's seeing right now. Come on, somebody that goes around like this, you're not going to expect them to be a little different. A little different. I don't know. I don't think we can expect our superstars to be act like
I
normal people.
And
just
she
look
gets
back.
praised for it. And she uses her
There you go. What you say?
I just looked back up at that. I was looking at something completely different on another tab and switched back over to that.
He said, "Oh
I
no,
mean,
birthday cake." Oh shoot! Yeah, I got the peaches out, man. See, we got the same shape. Look at that. Look at that. See that little heart shape,
man,
just like the.
then that is not how that looked like an actual heart shape. Nigga. That don't look like that look like human heart
Oh
shape. Well, man,
we
stop
got
it,
and
bro.
y'all
Like
trolling, and y'all even trolling. Those are not cakes. Those are Jamaican fried dumplings.
I'm finna say
Jeez,
there's cake
y'all dirty.
and then there's the dough.
Oh, you dirty man! Don't be playing. Don't be playing,
Man,
Lizzo.
no, man, look,
Don't
fuck
be
that.
playing, Lizzo.
Honesty. I think with the whole Carly thing in this case right now, I think what women need in their life is a little honesty. Okay, all
A little
right,
honesty.
a little honesty. You know what I'm saying? Just a
Uh,
little bit of honesty
ooh,
would
shoot.
go a long way in these situations. Too many people
Oh,
ain't being honest about what's going on. I'm just
listen,
saying,
man. Listen.
just saying, ladies might need a little honesty going on. Shit.
So what's your honesty, man? What's your honesty? Go ahead, tell Lizzo what you think.
I just I don't know what to think. That's a lot of ass.
Put that thing away. Put it away.
That's a lot of ass.
Yeah.
I mean, I, no, I ain't gonna do it.
Her versus Kiki. I mean,
I look, even if you be like Kiki ass was better,
reckless.
even
Ew.
if you be like Kiki ass was better, I got something about like new booty, right?
Oh shoot.
So there's
Oh.
like you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
don't
cause
be
Kiki's is new. I got you.
like
So it still
don't
had the new smell, the new car smell on it.
right. Don't come out here trying to show
Got
ass
you.
now. You wasn't showing ass. Like old girl, what's her name?
Mm-hmm.
The twin,
Bottom of
not
the
twin,
knife.
not the twin, but Chloe,
Mm-hmm.
not the one who played Little
Not the
Mermaid. She
mermaid.
cool. I like her.
Yeah.
She cool.
Hallie.
Halle cool. Chloe, it's
Mm-hmm.
weird. Like it's just awkward, right?
No honey in the moon.
Like it might be shaped nice, but it's awkward.
Dumper
This
truck.
just seemed like it absorbed
Yeah.
more light than it should.
You said her butt absorbed more like this.
Yeah, like that's a lot of surface. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
And
God.
as you can see on the picture on the right, the sun is just dying. Like you know what I'm saying? And it's like just imagine, right? Just imagine, y'all. Just imagine. Science time with yellow. We're gonna take a break. All right. Look, we on science time with yellow, right?
I'll take that off the screen for
Just
y'all, man. I'll take that off the
no,
screen for y'all.
no, just yeah,
Oh, bring
no,
it
keep
back.
it up because science time.
I ain't wanna. You know.
Yeah. Matter of fact, science time with yellow, right? So,
Hey, why you talking? I'm gonna do something. Give me a second.
okay, go ahead, do your thing. So, um, with like like photons, right? Photons come from the sun, right? That's what causes like you to tan and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When you laying out. So just imagine you're a photon, right? Your existence only lasts the speed of light, right? And that's it. You're born and die within the speed of light, right? And whatever you like land on is where you'll die, right? So just imagine being born this special photon that's born on the sun, right? and you travel all these miles, these millions of miles through the galaxy. You pass Mercury, right? You know what I'm saying? Then you go right past Venus, and then you are
Oh
approaching
god.
this big, beautiful blue and green ball of of beautifulness and trees, and there's so many things you can land on. There's trees, there's 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 birds, there's lions, you know what I'm saying? There's the pyramids,
Oh god.
there's this there's you know what I'm saying? What's the tower in France? You know, there's the Eiffel Tower, you know what I mean? There's so many things, right? But you come down and your existence lands right here where I'm at, right here where I'm pointing at. Right here. It
You
lands right
crazy.
here.
Yo.
You
Hello?
die right here.
Oh
Just
my
imagine
god.
your existence goes in the blink of an eye and it dies right here. It's not right, damn it. It's just not right. It's just not right. This is like this this
Oh
ass is
god.
the reason we need daylight savings time right here, is because it soaked up too much of the damn sun. Okay.
Man.
Just
Y'all,
imagine.
I gotta ask. Yella is in the thick of it. He's in the thick of it. I gotta ask y'all. Have y'all ever seen somebody talk out of somebody else's ass? Like that was my first time. Yella talked out of Lizzo's ass.
Hey, this is about how big the opening would be. Hold on, wait, don't move this. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
What you about to do? Oh shoot! What are you about to do? What are you about to do? What is he about to do? The night is dark and full of terrors. Oh god! You better not do what I think
Hold
you about
on,
to do.
man. Hold on.
Don't do it. Oh
All
god!
right. Can you hear me?
Not reporting
Can
live.
you hear me?
Yeah. Not reporting live from Lizzo's butt.
Huh? Hello, ladies and
Oh
gentlemen.
shit.
I'm reporting live from Lizzo's butt. The despair, the destruction. It's a goddamn war zone out here, people. Never seen so much pain. Okay. Everyone back home in the safety of your living rooms. Shit's getting real around here. There's bananas everywhere. The people are hungry, and all they got is bananas. FEMA ain't coming. I can't. Okay. As a good journalist, I've been I've been doing this for 20 years. The worst thing I ever seen in my life. There's winds. There's gaseous winds everywhere. Toxic winds. Toxic winds affecting the breathing. It's worse than Canada around here.
No, I'm not going on the other side. I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there.
So far we've conquered one mountain. There's another. There's another over to the eastern side over there.
Not going. I ain't going.
This,
Yeah, I ain't going. Oh shoot.
we will be back later for
Mm.
more reports.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Woo.
y'all send help.
Yeah. Listen, that was a special report from our correspondent Yella. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure that we extract you safely and soon. So
Thank
please,
you.
just hang in there, just hang in there, and we will come in immediately
Can't
to
make it.
retrieve you. Just try to keep your head down. Keep your head down, but your chin up.
I don't think I can hang on no more.
Woo, boy. There's a strange wind blowing. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Woo, you've been in hairier places, Yella. You've been in hairier spots. We know you can survive. Oh, Jesus.
This is a hole I never thought I'd fall in.
But you can climb your way out, Yella. We have faith in you. It's giving Yokozuna. Oh, Rikishi.
The
Oh,
valley,
shoot.
the valley's too deep. We need air support.
Oh, no. We don't need any air support. This is definitely a ground assault. Oh, keep this one grounded.
The terrain
Oh,
can't
God.
handle it.
Jesus Christ. What's wrong with y'all, people? What's wrong with y'all? Oh, what's wrong with y'all?
Oh shit!
What's wrong with y'all? Have you seen any bananas? Have any come near you?
That's all that's down here is people and bananas.
How many people have you seen?
6.
Were any of them Carly's baby? Were any of them the Freeway baby? We're still looking. We're still looking. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, God. Yellow, but you're a champ from hanging in there the way you have. Nobody should accuse you of brown nosing. You fought hard to get in the position you were in, and you deserve every moment of accolade and achievement you get from this kind of reporting. This kind of reporting does not get done every day, and you'll probably win an Emmy for this style of investigative and intensive journalism.
At this point, I'm a winner in them up. God damn it, that's all I'm a win. Ain't no damn
Yell it
enemy.
up.
I'm a winner in them up. I'm just trying
We're
not
gonna
to
get you
crack
out of
at
there.
this point. I'm just trying not to crack. Look,
Is Jimmy Hoffa down there?
that submarine is down here.
That's an implosion.
We suffering a.
Oh, God. Yo, pull it to work, Yella. Pull it to...
Man, I better get a raise.
Jeez, you can't get any lower. You got to get a raise because you can't get any lower.
It's the worst.
Oh, shoot.
So bad.
Oh, boy. Listen, we were able to find you a new placement. We were able to get you out, get you extracted, but unfortunately,
Oh shit.
we got you moved in locations, man. We got you in different locations, but we still need
All
more
right.
of your beautiful work, man. We need more
All
work.
right, let me look around here. It's much of the same. It's just Ashley more bananas over here for some reason.
Oh, shoot. Oh, God.
But I'm here to get through the thick of it. I'm here to keep stomping. Ooh, not good.
Oh, God. I hear the sound of flutes. That's all you can hear
No.
down there.
Oh my God, it's not flutes. They're not flutes. Trust me. It's air, but
It's
it's not
toots.
flutes.
It ain't flutes. It's
Toots.
toots.
It ain't flutes. That's why I
Oh
told
god.
you. I
Oh
reported
god.
earlier. The secret was is it wasn't the flute the entire time.
Oh god.
Oh my
The
god.
tide. He got pulled back in by the rip tide.
Oh shit. Them them dudes who was stuck in the Chilean mines.
Oh
They
god.
down here.
No. Oh god.
Little Timmy who fell in the
The
wet
Chilean
room last week.
Chilean miners. Oh dude.
Little Timmy from Lassie, he done fell down here.
Oh god. Jesus
Oh
Christ.
shit. I think I seen Tupac.
Jesus Christ.
I'm scared, y'all. They didn't
Man.
drop me back down here again.
Listen, man. Woo.
Oh man. I'm good.
Nobody can get into a story like you can, Yella. So we really appreciate
Hey, I'm trying to
your
do-
bold, your bold. You're willing to go into some of the deepest, darkest, remote areas on this planet.
I've always said that on this platform I'm willing to go to places that nobody else is.
Yeah, you do say that. You did say that.
Definitely didn't realize. I know, Renee, I'm trying not to talk too loud if I open my mouth. Something might fall in.
Yo. Oh god.
No
Wow.
shit. Oh my god.
She said, "Watch your tongue, yo."
Oh my god.
Flipper in there too. Oh
Man, the Meg is down here.
the man. Oh god,
Oh shit.
man.
Oh man, bro.
Something wrong with you, man.
Look,
One giant step for mankind. Listen, we'll get you out of there during the next bow bow.
Hey Vaughn, I boldly went where no man should have ever gone before.
Right. Woo. Oh god.
Oh man.
Oh, something wrong with you, man. I love it though. I love it. Whew. All right. In the thick of it. This dude.
That's what's gonna be my memoirs when I get out of there.
Oh man. But it's good that you could stunning and brave, man. You were stunning and brave in all of your courageous endeavors, and it's also as much as you rail against the empowerment and all that misandry, the way you stood behind Lizzo to do your job, that was pretty incredible. You had her back the entire time. But you really had.
It's either shit or get off the pot,
Absolutely. You have a nose for this kind of work. You got right under that story.
I gotta dive into my work head first.
Mm-hmm.
I'm dedicated to this shit. I'm not gonna make the poo poo face, and I'm not gonna be the brown stain on the company and back out of the dirty jobs that nobody else wants to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I need a minute.
Yeah. Take your time. There's a lot of meat on that story. You left us with a lot to chew on. So we'll move forward in the report. Yeah, very integral.
Her size as a way to where she can get away with things because her fan base is going to enable her, because if someone calls her out or tries to hold her accountable for things that are inappropriate, they're going to use her weight and the fact that some people in this world, I have to be real with you, some people in this world are definitely fat phobic, but when it comes to some of the antics that we've seen Lizzo do, they were highly inappropriate, and it demonstrated that she doesn't know what boundaries are. She doesn't really know what's appropriate. appropriate, when things are appropriate, and when things are inappropriate in certain environments. It wasn't that long ago when Lizzo decided to go to a family-friendly event and she decided to wear a see-through oversized t-shirt with her buns out.
Getting loose.
Were these demands or suggestions made by Lizzo, as you say, were they direct, where they said, I really want you to do it?
Why they got my man sounding like that?
I think she didn't want to get like a copyright strike, so they changed the
Right,
audio
right.
when she took the color out the video. Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, they got the pitch changed. It does sound weird. They sound like Oompa Loompas.
Hell no. See, you know, I be thinking outside the box. I'm like, I feel bad for whoever got to clean that seat because she been sitting there the whole time. And from what I saw in my reporting, it's just,
Yeah, there's a lot to that. I mean, there's a lot to that. And I would think cleaning up after stuff like that, it would carry a heavy weight. You seem to have been shaken by your experience.
I need that Lysol treatment. That, you know, like,
You
I'm
dirty.
just saying. Hey, look, dirty jobs, you know, everybody can't do it. That's just what I do.
Man.
Nah, but I know, so I know, like, with celebrity, it is what it is, right? So that type of stuff is just antics and shit like that. But you know, there is a point to where we haven't really made a line of what's too much. Now we get to the point to where we finding out what's too much. You know, well, you know,
That's a real
damn.
thing. Man. We're gonna have to
Mhm.
determine what our standards are for decency. I mean, because we're getting really lax, really permissive. But there's got to be some lines. There's got to be some lines that we socially kind of enforce. There's got to be things that we push back against, and it can't be like once everybody else says something. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And I know the name that always, now that I've seen it and I've seen too much, Sukihana, that's not okay. Like that, there's got to be a line before Sukihana. Like Lizzo is probably as far as I think it should go. Permissiveness got to stop at Lizzo. We cannot get out to Sukihana. That's too far. It's crazy. The twerking on kids thing, I'm never gonna be able to let that one go. Like everybody keeps talking about like gay people, transgenders, they're coming for the kids. But you got straight people out here twerking the kids when they're like 8 and 9 and 10 years old and having them in music videos with a lot of who was at the City Girl? The City Girl had her son, her 10-year-old, out of the strip club, like making it rain as strippers. Like, these are straight people. So everybody's talking about the drag queens and this, which I understand. I understand not wanting your kids involved in certain things like the drag and I understand it. But straight people are doing a lot, and it's under the guise of acceptance. Like, nobody's going to really challenge because people are backing up. Oh, that's their mother, and whatever they believe is right. Nah, man, we got to have some social standards because we're going to send these people out into the world with these deviated standards, with these with these antisocial behaviors, and it's not okay, man. I'm not very modest, but cheeks out at a family kid event is weird to me. And that's why I'm saying Lizzo is probably as far out as it possibly even needs to go. And that's too far for me, but I understand that's her brand. So people wearing their brand out in public, I kind of get it. But I also think somebody should have said something. Like, you can't come in here like that. That's what I mean about the social enforcement. Somebody at the venue should say, this is not acceptable for the forum. Like, for where we're at, the forum and the venue, we're going to enforce this. We know you're a star. We know who you are. Of course, we want your business. But we have children that come here, families, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to have that on the screen. Some people are with it, some people ain't. But that's the part where the community, the people, the group, the Americans, the citizens, we have to speak up about what we don't want to see and what we do. And that's where we're going to have to start drawing lines. And it's going to be hard because people are going to feel like we're making them smaller. We're diminishing them. It's going to feel like that. But yeah, Playing her music don't help. Like Yanni just said, we enable the behavior by accepting it, applauding it, celebrating it. We play a part in the decline of values and standards and decency. So we have to eat that L. We play a large part in a lot of this stuff. Under the guise of permissiveness and freedom and liberation. Some stuff should not be allowed. One of the things I was going to say about that whole sexualizing, like the fraternization, how she took the people out to the strip clubs and they shooting bananas and all that stuff. If we had gender switched the boss, if Lizzo was a man, if that was, instead of Lizzo, it was Larry, everything would have been obviously wrong. There wouldn't be any ambiguity at all. The fact that taking your young ladies, the backup dancers, out drinking and you're partying with them and encouraging them to touch somebody's titties and breasts and all that stuff, everybody be like, nah, that sounds predatory. Everybody would automatically know, because we've been conditioned to understand that certain things are unacceptable, especially when men do it. But it's almost invisible when women do it. They're just talking about toxic work environment. But nobody's calling it what they would have called it with a man. It would have been predatory. It would have been weird. It would have been grooming. It would have been all kinds of weird stuff. It would have been all kinds of crazy stuff if it was just a gender switch. So the behavior is problematic if it's a man doing it. With the woman, they're just saying it's toxic work environment. But the language is it's a lot softer. It's a lot softer. Because if had it have been man doing everything that she did, it would have been all kinds of problems. Using that, exploiting the power dynamics to get people to work or not do this and to do this sometimes. All that would have been a problem. If that sergeant, the drill sergeant, was it Shirley? Big Shirley. If Big Shirley was doing the banana thing with female dancers, but it was a guy, it would have been problematic. It would be looked at as predatory. It would have been looked at as skeevy, pervy. We'd have been looking at it totally differently. So the behaviors are either wrong across the board or they're wrong when one gender does it. That's one of my issues with this. It's a lot easier to see everything she did as wrong as if we put it if a guy did that to the female employees, everybody'd be like, nah, that's not okay. But because it's her, it's going to be kind of, I don't know. So we have to consider that as well. That line, that protection that we afford women in society to harsher criticism. Like I said, everybody enabled her. If it was a guy and doing some of the stuff she did, we'd be looking at him funny, which we do. We look at guys that are on stage sexualizing younger people. We look at them weird. Drake is still looked at, for me, I'm always going to look at Drake funny.
Or was it more, I'm afraid if I don't, I might get fired?
Yeah, I think for both of us, there was like this always looming feeling of thinking that if you didn't do something or you didn't adhere to certain suggestions or demands, that your job could be in jeopardy. I mean, there have been specific instances, for example, whenever we were in contact with our agents and we were trying to negotiate receiving a retainer while we were working with the team, things kind of started being more tense in the work environment, more hostile. So right off the bat, we kind of already felt like the energy was shifting. And after negotiations for retainers began, we got an email before one of the shows, basically from somebody from her management team, saying that the way that we had been acting was unprofessional and the attitudes that we were exhibiting on the job was unacceptable, and that it could be grounds for termination. And that's just one specific instance that we went through in regards to working with the team. There is so many instances where dancers who did have fun with her and, go along with like what she was doing and, be down for anything, that they were favored. They were hired for more shows. They were invited on, like private jets and to do cool things and, could hang out with her in like tropical settings like Hawaii and stuff like that.
I'm not going to lie to you. The people that I get along with the most are going to get the most favor from me. That's a human nature tendency. I know in business, you got to keep professional distance, and you're supposed to have certain things, ethics and standards in professionalism, especially as a boss. But I don't, as far as a moral judgment, I'm not going to place a moral judgment on Lizzo for having preferential treatment. I think all of us have people that we prefer. People prefer certain channels. They visit some channels more than they visit others. Preferential treatment, that's standard for me. But I know people when they're not getting the preferential treatment, they feel away. And I understand that too. But I don't complain about preferential treatment, because that's just, everybody does it. and I guarantee they do it too.
Some of our coworkers, it's just like there was no line between professionalism and personal. And so we had in our minds that if we weren't, down for anything, that we would then be ostracized later. It was this unspoken thing in the camp that if you weren't super fun, like if you like skipped out on all of the like outings and all that stuff, that you wouldn't be seen in good favor from Lizzo, and that you would then not be considered like one of the people that is like cool and down for anything, and then therefore not be booked for as many jobs.
That's office politics. It's not even in entertainment. I had the same problem in a lot of jobs because I don't do a lot of the hangouts. Matter of fact, people on the internet. I know Yella, he was looking at me funny because I'm not meeting anybody I know on the internet. I'm not doing any meetups. I'm not doing any meet and greets. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not that guy. On my work sites, after this one experience that I had at this one job where we used to all hang out, and I had too many strange experiences, I made it a rule that I wouldn't do that, like bleed that professional stuff anymore, because it got weird. But at all the jobs that I didn't do that in, it's hard to advance if you don't hang out with people, if you don't schmooze, if you don't what they call it, network is what they call it now. If you don't go out for drinks or go out to dinner or go for lunches, people look at you funny. They take it as you being antisocial or you don't like them. They read into it, so they don't look for you. They don't call you. Most people take their personal predilections into their jobs. They don't stop being people. Most people cannot just keep professionalism on 24/7. It's really difficult. So I understand what they're talking about, but I think it's an unreasonable expectation to think it's going to be anywhere different, because low level, entry level work, you still have the exact same dynamics. Office politics.
You mentioned that there was some kind of a dispute over a retainer. When you parted company with Lizzo, when both of you parted company with Lizzo, was it just kind of happened? Were you terminated? Did you quit? How did the separation go?
Yeah, for me, my situation was a little bit different than Ari's. There was a meeting that Lizzo had. It was all of our meetings were pretty intense, but this one was a more intense meeting with her, just emphasizing the fact that she wasn't pleased with our performing and that we still weren't dancing up to her standards. And basically, this was after the intense re-audition that we went through after having hours of rehearsal. To which she then brought up the allegations of us drinking before shows. I raised my hand to speak. She allowed me to speak, and in that moment, I let her know that we never partook in those activities, and that we would never put ourselves, her, or the show, or our jobs in jeopardy. And days later, one of her tour managers terminated me in a hotel lobby. What goes into my termination is that I had felt for a really long time that they were questioning my abilities due to weight gain. It was never explicitly said, hey, you're gaining weight. Your job is in jeopardy. It was never that. It was very nuanced. It was very under the rug. And I think that language was used to keep from being canceled. Previously, she had...
Duh. Nobody's going to come out and violate labor law intentionally. No, you know how rare that is? Listen, we really just don't want any fat people. We don't want any disabled people. We don't want any black people. Very few people say that. Or you're too old to work here. Very few people come out and say that. They got to be complete idiots. So yes, if there's an issue that violates the labor law, they're gonna talk and work around it.
Said, she was worried about me at South by Southwest. And when I was at South by Southwest, that was the first time I had showed up to a Lizzo event or gig, noticeably having gained weight. There was nothing different about me. My performance skills were the same. My demeanor was the same. My energy was the same. The only thing that was different about me was my weight. And in this meeting, she stated as well that, dancers get fired for gaining weight. And then she kind of paused and looked at me, and I still don't know if she really meant to single me out in that moment. But when she looked at me and she said that, I was kind of like, so she's really concerned about my weight. And then, when we had that private meeting, when I was kind of cornered, they kind of wouldn't let me, get away with not telling them something personal. So, and a reason why something was wrong with me. So I ended up telling them that I struggle with, anxiety and depression, and that I'm in recovery from an eating disorder. And as soon as I said eating disorder, they immediately were like, oh, like in their head, it was making sense as to why I was.
I ain't trying to be funny, but as a, I'm gonna do the as a person. As a fat person, there's nothing that doesn't change. I mean, there's no thing where it's like nothing changed about me but my weight. That's not realistic. If you know that you gain weight, you're gonna know you're gonna carry that with you. You know it. It's probably going to affect your disposition, especially if you're going into a situation where especially if you just talked about anxiety, and you're going into a performance-based, visual-based, in like a realm. You're going there knowing you've noticeably gained weight. You're going to be anxious about that. Of course, your demeanor changes a little bit. Because either one, you're going to be overdoing it because you're masking, or you're going to be down a little bit because you're anxious and worried about what people are going to think. There's no way nothing changed if you gain weight. There's not a chance in Hades. I don't know. I just didn't like that lie. But, it might just be a lack of self-awareness.
Gaining weight because it had something to do with an eating disorder problem.
Another reason the allegations are not shocking to me is because it wasn't that long ago when Lizzo blasted her Postmates delivery girl. She wrote, "Postmates, the girl Tiffany W stole my food. She lucky I don't fight no more." And then she attached a photo and she tweeted this to her millions of fans. And then people started calling her out about it. And one user wrote, "I get this ish is frustrating at Lizzo, but the solution shouldn't be to use your followers to attack someone and probably get them fired. It's really not worth all that." And then Lizzo responded, "No, the front desk told me she walked in, clocked it as delivered, then walked out with food in hand. Her phone never rang. Postmates couldn't contact her either. She clearly knew what she was doing. I just don't want someone else to get they ish stole too."
And it's some good old-fashioned food shaming or food delivery shaming.
It's worse than food shaming. It's you call somebody a thief.
Well, Lizzo
did.
You remember last week, Lizzo had some unkind words for the Postmates person who was delivering.
This girl named Tiffany.
Yeah.
Who and Lizzo said she stole my food. And she didn't. And it's really
sold food. She's lucky I don't fight
Tiffany
anymore.
is being traumatized as a result of this because Lizzo has a huge following,
right,
and put it out there that she's a thief, and that's not what happened at all.
Not only did she put that out there, but she put a photo of her out there, which is how, obviously that's the photo of when she goes and delivers food to people.
Right.
But getting into exactly what happened, so Tiffany says what happened was she was doing a delivery to a Boston hotel. Usually when it's a hotel, the person leaves the hotel number, but they did not, as far as the room number.
Yeah.
So she was calling, she gets to the hotel, is repeatedly calling and texting the number listed for the account, is not getting any response. So she actually goes as far as going into the hotel lobby.
Which, by the way, Devin, I don't think she has to do even.
No, she does not, because technically I spoke with, Postmates says all they have to do is wait 5 minutes, and if they don't hear back from the person, they're able to leave, basically, and move on.
So she went the extra mile.
She went the extra mile, and she went into the lobby. She continued to try to reach, she had no idea it was Lizzo, but the customer basically never heard back, so she moved on.
But there's one more thing, I believe. She actually went to the concierge and said, "Do you know this name?" But the person whose phone number it wasn't listed as a room, didn't check in under that name. So she actually went to the concierge, right?
Yeah, so she did go to the concierge, spoke with them as well, and to no avail, basically.
And
then waited another 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I mean, she waited a total of 10 minutes, which is actually 5 minutes longer than you even are required to wait.
Team Lizzo. So I get it that Lizzo, I still get why Lizzo would be upset, but I guess Lizzo doesn't really know. How did she get the photo of
Lizzo jumped to a conclusion?
They give it to you on the app, though. You can see who your person is on the app. But I think also, too, in today's time, a lot of times when we complain about something with customer service in these companies, we go right to Twitter. So I think that she didn't think of, the fact that I'm Lizzo and I can't really do this because I'm blasting this girl. She just thought her food was stolen and she wanted to speak with customer service, and people do it on Twitter nowadays.
Do you think Lizzo doesn't realize her power at this point?
She can't, because listen, you can complain about Postmates all the time because, let's face it, sometimes they make mistakes. But I mean, the reality is,
when you order
it's never
3 times a day,
it's never it's a sinking feeling to see the little Postmates tip indicator come up when you haven't gotten your food and you know that the person's kind of jumped out of the whole delivery.
I agree with that, but at the same time, let me tell you my problem with this is that I totally agree with you.
She specified the person.
Well, yeah,
that was the deal.
You go to the person whose number it is and say, "Did you get a call from Postmates?" And I don't think she did that, because if she did that, the person
would have been able to look at their phone and say, "Oh wait, we have some missed calls." Right.
So there was a way of finding out what happened.
They didn't do the footwork before blasting poor Tiffany, who now feels like she is, and I guess she's probably online getting.
Lizzo apologized.
Yeah, Lizzo took down the tweet and apologized for blasting the girl. But at the end of the day, she has millions of fans who are coming after this Tiffany W. So,
Postmates is treacherous.
Hi, my name is Aviva. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I think that Lizzo should take responsibility for blasting the woman, because this is someone whose life is at stake, and defamation is a real thing. And I think that Tiffany should sue Lizzo for putting her out there like that.
I repeat, the allegations against Lizzo are not
Tiffany.
shocking. Someone
At
took to
all.
Twitter and wrote, "Publicly shaming someone in the service industry, especially when you're wealthy, is worse than stealing food."
Wrong. Hold up.
Wrong.
Nah. Because if she really stole the food, man, shame them. I don't care if they poor. If you gonna steal somebody's food, man, go ahead and get shamed. Go ahead and take this Twitter L. But the lady didn't steal the food. That's the issue. The lady didn't steal the food. Lizzo couldn't have checked her phone because if the lady was trying to call the number on the account, the same phone that you ordered the food from, you're gonna get all the messages from. So if they didn't even bother checking the phone, that's a problem. That's just stupid. But again, she probably got a lot of handlers, different people handling different phones and different accounts. So I mean, it is what it is. She apologized for it. She took down a tweet. But again, that's a superstar. She's going to have some levels of entitlement, arrogance. There's going to be a lot of that going on. So I'm not sure why people are expecting a normal individual. She's not going to be a normal people. And normal people ain't normal. Normal people ain't what we think of as normal. Normal people aren't decent. Normal people aren't patient. Normal people aren't gracious. So it's like, I don't know. I'm not where everybody else is with it. But she just sounds like an arrogant
when you're wrong about the service industry worker who didn't in fact steal your food, it makes
what's
it
up
worse.
to world class?
When it comes to this Lizzo situation,
what's up?
especially when it comes to the Postmate situation, I completely understand that you want to hop on Twitter and voice the fact that you got horrible service from a company. But when you go as far as posting their photo, their name, knowing that you have millions of followers, before checking to see if maybe you made a mistake on your end by not being able to answer the phone, it was just irresponsible, and it definitely gave mean girl behavior. Another thing that I think is interesting is that her dancers are accusing her of fat shaming, which was the root cause of her being enabled online with her antics, which I find that to be interesting to me. Also, Sophia was saying that Lizzo is narcissistic. Well, the praise that she gets online could influence that behavior, which could have also been the reason she had that experience. Lizzo also carries on this sexual undertone when it comes to some of the conversations that she has with people. So it's not shocking that she had those same type of sexual interactions with her employees.
Yeah, that's her brand. That's the brand that she's putting forward. Give me a second. I just wanted to say thanks to New Growth Old Soul for the donation. Let's get my boy up in here. I ain't heard my boy's voice in a minute, man. My guy, the master teacher, not B9, not this master teacher, but the other master teacher.
The Prince of Pan-Africanism is back, showing love to all my donors and supporters. We've been at it for 2 hours and we still got donations to go through.
I'll take that.
See, I get love. Y'all focus on the hate, I focus on the love.
Is that a lot? That's a lot.
I got another donation. Donations. 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 Donations.
Wow, that's a lot.
Gifts. 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 More gifts. More gifts. More gifts.
Wow, thanks.
Man, appreciate you, Blackhearted with New Growth Old Soul, for the donation. Appreciate you for your continued support of the channel, as well as Danny Anthony, who definitely contributed to the channel as well. Thank you both for your support.
They felt uncomfortable and
hold up. I think I was going to say about, again, I know Yanni and a lot of people are going to hang on the hypocrisy of being a body positive person and getting rid of somebody for weight gain. But again, as a obese person myself, there's a threshold that your body just ain't going to tolerate. There's a threshold where your knees ain't going to be kneeing, your ankles going to be hurting and swollen, your feet going to be swollen, you ain't going to be able to get in your damn shoes. It's just honestly the truth. So yeah, you may be you got hired because you were big, but there may be a level of bigness that may prevent you from being able to do what you need to do. So I just think that's fair. I know a lot of people are going to be calling her a hypocrite, but I just think it's fair, because what she got them out there doing, you need to be able to do it.
Again, this is a woman who has...
And Moesha Stan account. Hello. Glad you like the title.
has shown consistently in the public eye that she does not know what is appropriate and what is not appropriate in certain spaces. The allegations that are out against her are not shocking. However, I would like to see how this lawsuit unfolds. Lizzo takes to her Instagram to respond to the allegations. She wrote, "These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually, I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed." These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. As an artist, I have always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as an important part of the team.
And that's that part about blurring the line, man. People have to learn professionalism, because she may feel that way about her art. She may feel that way about her music and performance. She honestly may feel that way, and so that might have been where the disgruntled former employees came in. They didn't like being re-auditioned. They didn't like getting fired. She's not supposed to be questioned. It's too many people saying the same thing for me to not believe it. Everybody in like, yeah, I don't believe anybody. That's what the part I didn't like what she just said in that statement is that it's sensationalized. She does this stuff publicly. She does this, most of the stuff that she's done that they accused her of, she does publicly. So her persona is what they're complaining about, and she's doing it, like, I guess offline, like off stage. Off stage, she is in her persona. She's still being hypersexual. She's still being playful, and she's blurring the line between friend and and boss. She's the boss, but she's also trying to be a friend, and you can't do that all the time. You can't blur those lines because of that power dynamic. People are going to be threatened because their job, and like she said, there's office politics. Everybody that did what Lizzo wanted got preferential treatment. That's office politics. So she just is not somebody that's prepared for leadership. She's not prepared to have people under her. She needed a professional manager that oversaw that kind of stuff. I can't remember. Somebody said it in the chat, or it might have been Yella. Somebody said she needed like a manager. There's supposed to be an adult in the room, and if when you get off the stage you want to play hard, that's fine. And if maybe because of the entertainment industry you want to play hard with your backup dancers and cool, it's sketchy, but it's understandable. But there needs to be an adult in the room that's keeping tabs and a watchful eye on those type of mingled relationships. But yeah, there's too many people. There's too much smoke for there not to be a fire. It's too much smoke.
I am not here to be looked at as a victim, but I also know that I am not the villain that people in the media have portrayed me to be these last few days. I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow people to use that openness to make me out to be something I am not.
Oh, but you can. And see, that's where the problem comes in. Everybody that wants to be hypersexual and oversexual and they want to do that publicly, you're opening yourself up for scrutiny and judgment. So you do get to be somebody's villain who has a different standard and level of decency that they expect in society or around them or visibly. So there are different, you do get to be somebody's villain. You don't get to choose whose villain you are. I kind of wish I went ahead and did that drama cycle thing, because she used two of the words, the victim and the villain. I mean, she's already using the language. The only other one is the hero. But the victim, the villain, and the hero. So she's already in the drama cycle. I'm not going to be a victim, but I'm also not going to be somebody's villain. That's the way our minds work. So if you already do something, you're already setting yourself up. You're going to be somebody's villain at some point. There's no way around that. My issue is, why are people surprised? I expect an attitude or behavior like that. Me too. But now she's acting like her character's in question. You're portraying a character. You have a persona. It's public. It's sexual. It's over the top. It's extra. If people feel offended by that, you can't then be like, oh, they're questioning. Yeah, you're gonna get questioned. It wasn't the media. It was people that have worked with or for her. What is she saying? A bunch of nothing. At this point, she just doesn't want to catch any negative heat. Nobody. She's doing an intent versus impact statement. My intention was never to harm anybody. But a lot of people that have that kind of mentality, they never open themselves up to consider. But what was my impact on these people? Yeah, I didn't mean to harm anybody, and I didn't mean for my sexuality to make anybody uncomfortable. But did I make anybody uncomfortable? Most people are too egotistical to consider the second part of that equation. We run into a lot of problems like that. A lot of problems like that.
There's nothing I can take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know what it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight. I'm hurt, but
Because you probably legally can't do it for just weight. But, labor laws being what they are. But in entertainment, you got to be honest, man. People are going to get fired because of their weight or their age or any number of other things. We just got to accept that.
I will not let the good work I've done in the world be overshadowed by this. I want to thank everyone who has reached out in support to lift me up during this difficult time. What are your
Did they tell the people in Georgia? Have they told the people in Georgia that? Wow.
thoughts on Lizzo's response? Comment down below. Do you think this is all just a misunderstanding?
So what do y'all think? Yeah, that's the end of that video. What do y'all think? We went through several different components of that. We talked about the power dynamics. We talked about the sexualization. We had the live reporting from Lizzo's Crack by Yella. So we've had quite a bit of a conversation and variety in the conversation. But what do y'all think of the situation? I know everybody doesn't feel the same way I do. I really, my only issue is the hypocrisy thing. I don't think it's really hypocritical, but the way they've laid it out is going to sound hypocritical. But I do think she's there. I think she's everything we would expect her to be. I think she's an asshole. I think that's what Yella found out. He was in there. I think she's just an asshole. But I think a lot of superstars, a lot of famous people, that's what they are. Lizzo full of it. Companies will fire you for being overweight due to the health insurance that they pay. Yeah, we know people will do that. She's doing a lot of coverage, a lot of masking. It's because she's getting sued. So there's certain things you got to say because you're getting sued. You got to put the cape on for yourself. So I get it. It's a both. It's a ball. It's a ball. What they call ball face lie, bold face lie, whichever one. It's a lie. But we know she probably got somebody because of their weight. And I ain't even tripping off that. You hire big dancers, but they probably got something. Like said, she gained more weight. She might have just got too big. She probably couldn't have done the drops, and she couldn't have done the twerks. Everything might not look the same. Outfits you go on tour with certain outfits. Maybe they weren't even fitting the same. Who knows? So I don't know. I'm not really blaming her on the weight thing, but she's an asshole. Just own up to it, like Kanye did. But what do y'all think? What are y'all's opinions on what y'all seen? Because they laid out a lot. A lot of people had a lot of accusations. I know we've had a lot of commentary in the chat. But do y'all hold it against her? I know a lot of people ask, what do y'all think it'll happen to her career? I don't know. I think a lot of the body positivity, I think that image is going to be shot. I don't think people want to give her as much leeway on the body positivity stuff. But I do think we need to start enforcing some decency standards. Because what happens is they don't know where the line is. So she thought her sexual persona could bleed over into playtime with her coworkers, employees, and it wasn't a good fit. That wasn't a good idea, and now she's getting sued. I find it so crazy she mentioned how she was body shamed. And 8 out of 10 people who get body shamed always body shame someone else when the opportunity arrives. So I know she said that, and I believe it too. I absolutely believe it. Plus, everything that they said, nothing was too far. Nothing was really far fetched. Nobody said anything like, you're fat, or you're too fat to do this. There's just the basic inference that we all get. People don't think we're competent all the time for whatever reason. She need to go ahead and lean into the villain role. We need a villain. Monique need a break, and Kanye is white. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think anything is too crazy that she said or did. A lot of this stuff, like I started off with, a lot of this stuff I've experienced or seen in a certain demographic of people in workplaces because there was a lack of professionalism. There are certain groups of people who are not as groomed towards being professional when they go into a workplace. There are also people who come in like new money. You blow up or you go viral. You're not prepared for the dynamics of being a boss or running a company. So, I mean, I get it. I understand it. She should be held accountable for things, but I don't think we should act like surprised. I think we put too much of a picture of purity on people. Purity and piety. I think we do that too much. These are people. They're humans. They got egos. They got frailties. They got baggage. I think the problem, the baggage thing, it just made me think about yellow in the butt. I think the problem is people talk too damn much about what they do. That's a problem too. That's a problem too. Show me, don't tell me. But Jit, I know Yella said he be back. I think he stepped away. That was pretty much it for me, y'all. Since Yella's gone and y'all kind of quiet, I'm getting ready to head up out. Let me see. Monday and Tuesday, I'm doing my conversation with counselors. I got Dr. Nakumbe on Monday. On Tuesday is Sheila Ingram from Bravo with Sheila. We'll be having those conversations, and they're going to be about the gender wars. So we'll be talking about the gender wars on Monday and Tuesday. And I've got, professionals who can give their opinions and expertise about how some of this stuff is coming to be. Because, I got a lot of questions. And I try to ask insightful questions and questions that I haven't heard other places. So I'm trying to definitely bring some other dynamics to these type of conversations. So hopefully y'all appreciate it. The issue is she played victim. Then was the victim. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for giving us some giggles. Absolutely. Absolutely. And later on, that's a big thing. The victim, the villain, the hero. Look up the drama cycle, guys. Look up the drama cycle. You'll see that a lot of the issues and breakdowns in people's relationships and stuff happen around that. They'll paint themselves as the victim. Sometimes they go into the villain, or they're like, when people talk about caping for somebody, or having to be like, I've always got to rescue people, or there's another one. There's another thing we say. We use it for white. We use it in the race space. What is it? White savior complex. Like there's the hero. So there's the hero, the villain, and the victim. That's like the paradigm. So look up that. Great show. Thank you. Later on, you didn't finish your thought. I don't know what thought that was. Whatever thought is gone. You have to tell me what I was saying, because otherwise it's gone. But yeah, so Monday, Tuesday, I'll be back. We talked about the Lizzo thing. I can't think of anything else I didn't say about that I was intending to say. The only other thing I would say again, and I would just reinforce this one point, because, everybody talks about the patriarchy. Everybody likes to talk about the patriarchy and hierarchies and males oppressing females, men oppressing women, that dynamic. Now that women are getting into positions and roles that have been predominantly held by men, positions of power and privilege, we're going to have to also be able to consider that women can be perpetrators of hierarchical or exploitation of power. We're going to have to see that more easily, because that's what's happening. If this was a man in her position and her squad captain, if that was a man, all of the things that they did would easily been seen as problematic. It would be easily recognizable as problematic, and it wouldn't have persisted as long as it did. It would have been called out. So a lot of that sexual stuff simply flew by because they were all women. But she's also a boss. She's also an employer. So that stuff's got to be considered, and there's going to have to, in positions of power, that grace, that gender-based grace, that's going to have to be stopped, because whoever's in power, I think it was Moesha, if I'm not mistaken, it was Moesha Stan account, or it might have been Ty Libra, but somebody's like, power corrupts. Power corrupts. It doesn't matter who's in power. Power corrupts. So we have to be more thoughtful and considerate, and also speak up. No matter who the person is that's in charge, and no matter who the victim is, if it's not us, speak up. If it's a problem, don't wait until it's on your doorstep to speak about it. If don't sit there and watch other people go through it. Don't sit there and watch other people get beat down, bullied, fired. Don't sit there and watch all of that. But then the moment it comes to your doorstep, then all of a sudden you want to rally and you want everybody to come to your side. That's annoying. That's a personal problem with me. I really hate when I see people do that. There's an old poem, and then they came for me. It always reminds me of that. But I hope all y'all enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I will see y'all on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Just keep your eyes out for any other pop-ups like today, or any takeovers, because you know Bree's back in town, Kansan's around, Yella is wherever he's at. And I will see y'all next time. Let me hit y'all.
A BYB.
All right, man. I will catch y'all later.
God bless. God bless the food, goddammit. God bless the food. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm going to end this goddamn thing. Look, where's that goddamn money bowl at? Who got that money bowl? We taking that money right now before you leave this bitch. We ain't leaving out here for free, motherfucker. Where that money bowl at? Don't have any fire this bitch off now. Where that money bowl at? Don't you? Look, don't make me shoot it. All right. Officer Tucker's one already dead motherfucker. I don't mind shooting another motherfucker. Oh.
I'ma head out. Okay? Good luck, ladies.
Thank you everyone for critically drinking. We are so grateful for your continued support and viewership, and we know we wouldn't be here without you, so we really appreciate you choosing to spend your time with your favorite dime. We hope that you're enjoying the show, and we promise to keep bringing you refreshing conversations week after week. Thanks again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
You retain an advantage by staying liquid.
Yeah, now, yes, you know how I felt. Imagine a used dish rag in your head. Picture it. Now imagine feeling like that.